Come on into the room. Welcome on back to our channel. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I'm joined always by our beautiful husband, Joseph Conner. And you are on the Mimi Taylor Conner's couch. We have been so busy, and we're going into a very busy season, including my birthday season. So shout out to all the motherfucking Virgos in the building.
Yes,
I know it's Leo season. Happy birthday. But the Virgos is coming up, okay?
very quick.
Very, very quickly. And Joe handled everything, y'all. I normally like take the lead on birthdays just because I'm particular about my birthday. But this year I wasn't going to do anything. And Joe was like, no, we're doing something.
No, we can't do that because, we don't have a very long year. Zar has had a very deserving year. And Zar, as a mother, is content not doing anything. You know what I mean? And so we can't let that live.
Oh, so this is for the girl in me, the wife in me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I like that, buddy. I like that. This episode is sponsored by all the people who bought us a coffee, sent money to our baby's cash app. We are trying to fund a baby. This baby got to go to Harvard. Okay, she got to go to Spelman. She got to go to the best of the best, and we want her to do it for Zip Zero. Okay, so don't be stingy with your De Niro. Are you picking up when I put it down?
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to give a special thank you to Suez Canal, Jojo Hemi, Bingo Bossy, Issa. Okay. Y'all always come through and really show us much love. Miss Barbara, all of you guys, thank you so much. Okay. We got something special today. We're talking about all things Married at First Sight, season 20. Okay. Episodes 13 to 15.
Yeah.
Okay. And we couldn't do it without bringing in somebody special. This was a fascinating group of episodes. And I must say, one of our favorite seasons of Married at First Sight was season 18. And we got to get a little bit closer to some of the people who participated in the experiment. So I am so excited to talk about episodes 13 through 15 with Married at First Sight, season 18. Still married, ho.
Still married, and we're going to talk about that.
Miss Camille, bring her on in.
Still married.
Still married, ho.
Listen, it's so funny because we just had somebody in the comments talking about how this show is just for clicks and ain't nobody doing nothing on this show. And I'm like, no, some people that have been on the show are still married, and we know some of them, and so we know it works. Don't be fooled by the people who's here for the tomfoolery and the bullshit. Like, no, some people actually went through this process and live whole lives, have children, have been together ever since. So just so y'all know, this is proof of that. This is Thomas and Camille here.
Yeah.
This is their living proof of this. So just so y'all, I know we have some newcomers,
and they is outside living their life.
Especially since it's been on Peacock. I know we have a lot of newcomers and new viewers who think that Married at First Sight just started when it hit Peacock. But no, they've been doing this for a long time, and they have produced some success stories, and this is one of them.
So, Camille, how have you been? How have you and Thomas been? What's going on?
Yes, we've been doing good, and I appreciate the shout out because we definitely still out here trying, and I feel like that's where, it's good to have that lens, and I feel like I can have a little more of the, when I'm hard on people, it's because I know it's doable. So
yeah,
exactly.
Right.
I want you to be great. This is out of love. I'm coaching you to get you there.
Yep.
Yes.
It's not me trying to bring you down.
100%. But we've been doing really good. It's been nice since the show. Literally next week will make 3 years for us, which is crazy.
Wow.
It's insane.
That's why it flew.
It flew. And also we had some kind of weird delay with our season to where it didn't even start airing until I think over a year of us being married. So it's kind of been this delayed thing. And, it just came out on Netflix. And so I feel like we're getting this whole new wave of people who are seeing it for the first time. So that's funny and crazy, because there's a lot of passion behind people's feelings.
Yes, and all these feelings.
Yeah. So man, I didn't even realize that. So you're kind of reliving your season where people are commenting on you in their mind. It's in real time. So now you're kind of reliving that. How's that been, like, seeing people's commentary on not knowing, how it ended up? Like, how has that been?
Yes, that's been the crazy part. And luckily for us, I mean, I would say probably 90% of the stuff that we're getting now is all love and people that
Mhm.
Good.
obviously
Good.
come right over and see that we still made it. I feel like we didn't make it. I might be having some different comments in my inbox. Because we made it, people could see that we got, a lot of nice stuff coming our way. So that's good. I kind of
Good.
feel bad for some of the people on our season that's really just trying to move past a lot of stuff.
For
And
sure.
now they got a whole fresh batch of hate in their inbox. So that's the part that's kind of tough. But
Yeah,
luckily
that gotta be crazy.
That's not your sword. When nobody got blessed.
Yeah.
yes, luckily we're on the other side of things. So it's been really nice. Just a lot of
That's the
straight love and
So
people
it's
just
almost like you're in a perpetual state of like the newlywed, because like your newlywed year, because
Yeah.
to go that long being married and then the show airs like for
Yeah.
everyone to see.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now it's been syndicated and picked up with Netflix. Like that has to feel like falling in love all over again and like being
Yes.
excited to see the journey, you know?
Yes, it's super fun to kind of watch back some of the initial episodes and just see kind of how far we've come. And yeah, it's crazy stages. So the whole first year, you're getting used to this person living together, all of this, but you still got to kind of keep it on the low because it hasn't even.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you're watching the show, and that brings its joys and a little bit of
Yeah.
it's like watching it back.
Yes.
Edit that you have no control over. You just watching
Right.
it. It's like, dang, what they about to have me saying this week? And so
You like, we already argued about this. We have
Right.
moved on. We are happy
We're
and
good.
silent.
we solved it. I apologized. And so you go back into then it's the real world and navigating that, still getting to know this person and working backward. But then, being in the public eye, still to this day, I just feel like
Yeah.
regular Camille. And so it's crazy then to, go to the airport and get noticed and all while still
Yes.
connection with this person
Yeah.
that you met 3 years ago and also married 3 years ago. So it's crazy. It's been a fun whirlwind.
How's my guy doing? How's he been doing with everything and handling it all?
He's good. I think that he has been taking it very well. I think that he, it's crazy because like the new thing that we get in the comments all the time now is like, look at him. He's so swaggy now. He got
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you were gonna.
I swear. And so he been tussling in the comments.
He has been looking very swaggy. He been looking good. I said, you can tell when a man is with a woman.
I mean,
because their whole energy, he just has a very confident, like, not that he didn't seem confident before, he just seemed like himself, like introverted in a way. And it just feels like he's blossomed. You know what I mean?
As
most men do.
As most men do. Most men in happy, healthy relationships enter the relationship one way. And by the time you see them, you know what I mean, halfway through, they are upgraded to a infinite degree, right? Mike, pull up that picture of them in the car. He was swagged out in the car. Yeah. Come on. What in here? This is an upgrade. This is an upgrade.
He looking all good. His arm all in an okay arm.
What did Jay-Z say? The right woman will upgrade you. You know what I mean? Your whole energy will just be
and
different.
It's just his energy.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I love it.
It's palpable and it's really beautiful to see it. It's really awesome to see you guys really come into yourself and build a world that is just yours.
Yeah.
Off of something that so many say is like for clicks and whatever. You know what I mean? To see genuine people come together and really build a marriage is really why we all watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you really do inspire us to keep going. Like, because that was a tough season. Like, you were on a tough season. You know what I mean? For all those who have not seen it. And then,
it was a lot going on.
It was a lot going on. But I wonder, you said something about the social media piece of it all and you all not really being able to come out. Do you find it weird that this season everybody is allowed to kind of interact while the seat?
Yes.
It's odd, isn't it? I don't like it.
It's very odd. I'm not really feeling it either. I was actually literally thinking about that today, and there's just on both edges, both sides of it. I almost feel for the people on the show because, like, why are y'all subjecting yourselves to that? Like, now people in y'all comments after every go mad at you. You know, I feel like there was this niceness about being removed and private, and people couldn't message you until the very end of the show. Because now you hearing about yourself episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the time you get to the end, they forgot about what happened week 1. They forgot about, but instead you got to hear it all the time. Like, that's crazy to me. And then also, it just, something about it is giving less genuine. And I feel like that, the people who watch Married at First Sight, who have been watching Married at First Sight for a while, there's this little bit of like, you want to protect it a little bit, or you just, it's a different show, I feel like, than the Love Islands, even like Love is Blind and all that. And so I think the authenticity of it is what people have liked. And there's something about like, man, I swear,
coming out with a book in the middle of a season.
No,
that to me is just
crazy work.
Read the room.
Who is doing these contracts now?
Who? Right? Like,
Peacock is loose.
People was nervous, like, on, like, you know, I don't understand. To me, it does feel a bit like disingenuous. Obviously, we're in this age where you're on TV. So the moment you're on TV, your episodes air, we already know that you're going to get a certain amount of visibility, likes, followers, everything like that. But it feels like everybody's trying to grift on it. So early, because it doesn't add anything to the conversation to me. Like,
no.
Because you actually can't talk about anything.
Right.
You're just
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can't scroll on Threads without seeing what's Nick there. Yes, replying to every comment.
Really?
Every single comment.
I never saw it, but that does not surprise me at all.
Every single one.
Yeah, he's not beating the allegations. Like, I feel like I really felt some type of way with just him being casted in general, which we can like get to that when we start breaking down the rules. But like, he's not beating the allegations at all. In fact, I think I screenshotted it and sent it to my sister last night. And I was like, see, this is what I was talking about. Because she's not on Threads. And it was just like,
why not? Come on, Black girl.
I know.
Trying to get on it.
Come on.
I love Threads. So,
girl, it's for us. It feels like they built a platform for us.
That's a fact. I'm
like, is it my algorithm that's black, or is it like everybody on here is black?
we took it over.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're not following Camille on Threads, what's your Threads, Camille?
Oh, actually, so I literally only go on there and scroll. So I don't even know if I should like.
She on the Aaron people.
She said, never mind. Yeah, straight up.
Abort.
Which is fine. Because it could be whatever you want it to be. We had Joe and Zar on Threads.
Yes, mine is Camille _Rose. I believe it's just the same as Instagram. But yeah, I literally.
What did you send your sister?
Yeah, so he said something like, Nick, use your MIT education, stop doing reality TV, in quotes. And then he was like, time working in tech, 10 years, time on reality TV, 10 weeks. But that's just this show, first of all, because
right, exactly. So he doesn't know math.
He's on reality TV too, and he said reality TV is such a small but highly visible part of my life experience. Some of y'all don't realize these shows are just a matter of weeks. And I love me a side quest, shake the status quo and go try new things. Always a fun PTO conversation with like the sweaty laugh emoji. And I'm just like,
oh God.
So it was a side quest like that. Like that's what it was.
Right. That's what you're not beating these allegations, bro. You made yourself look worse.
Which he could have just shut the hell up because we're already on his side. But you did thank you for producing, Camille, because we're getting right into MAGA. That's what I like to call them. That's Nick, and I actually forget her name. So Courtney, whatever her name is, MAGA. We're talking about them first, okay? Because they were here for I wouldn't even say they were here for a good time. It was a terrible time for them, for me, for everybody involved. And thank God this isn't Fox and they're off our TVs. You see how fast that happened? Now, they are having the same exact conversation every single episode about him being disingenuous and her being Maleficent. So you tell me, Camille, what do you think about them in their group therapy session sitting down and deciding no longer to be with one another?
But also, Camille, I want to know how you feel about the group therapy sessions, because this is something that this is something that is a new thing for the Peacock rendition of this
iteration
show.
of it, yeah.
And on Camille's season on Lifetime, this is not something that they did. So I'm curious about how you feel about that, and about Dr. Paz,
the new
experts.
Let's start there, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I do. I actually really do like the group therapy sessions for a couple different reasons. One, it makes for great TV. It's giving entertaining. Like, I'm always sat down during the whole episode. And so I think that is part of it. I like it from an entertainment standpoint, but I've actually really been liking, I think if you are someone that likes to kind of go into the psychology of things and start to break some of these couples down, I do appreciate how they are pushing back on people and they are having a little bit of these deeper conversations with people. And so I like that element of it, the actual kind of like therapy. From it.
Yes.
Because
it's important to do.
Yeah. And it's a small portion of what all these people and just all of us need. You know, it's only scratching the surface, but I do like that. I think it really is pointing some things out to people about themselves that they didn't realize was going on. And so that is one thing, like, you don't want to come on the show to only work on yourself, but if you can take some of that away with you, I think that's a win, because I think a lot of some of these people's eyes are being opened to stuff that they were just oblivious about. So I do like that. I actually do like the experts. You know, I'm always ride for Dr. Pepper, Pastor Cal, Dr. Pia.
Same.
But if they were going to do a switch, like, I think everyone was so sad that they got rid of them. If they were going to do a switch, I think they found some good ones to do it with, because they're adding to the show for sure.
Paul is
Paul
and Dr. Lisa is great as well. So I want to be clear about that. But Paul is just we watched him on the UK version.
Okay.
And when I mean he was like lighting, we had to scour the internet for it, by the way.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was easy to find.
Because they don't show you. It's not like on a network.
Right. So when I saw him, I was like, I thought we were in good hands. I'm gonna be very honest. But I too like the group therapy sessions. I'm not too keen on the group dinners.
The group dinners is what coming out.
But I like the group therapy sessions because I think it's important. Sometimes you're dealing with something and somebody else in the corner is afraid to even bring that up.
Yeah.
So when you're there and having harder conversations about being performative or how you show up to these moments, or, you know what I mean, fighting for your marriage, other people need to hear that as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a universal conversation versus like, when they have it, when there's just Dr. Lisa or Paul. I think it's really important to have those group sessions, but I always worry, and I wonder if you feel this way. Did you feel like you guys were like competing when you, like, does it feel like competition?
Not like this. The something with the dynamic of this current season is much different. And I don't know if it's a producer prompt, like the dinners, like you said, that is one of your lines. They are running amok at the group dinners.
They are
running amok.
They are.
It's like everybody forgot they were once single. It's like you were single yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, and we have to start humbling people more.
Yeah. And just whatever standard they're trying to achieve is so off base with what actually a true healthy marriage is and all of that. So whatever they're basing things off of to even rank each other is so off. And honestly, that's why I really, really like you guys' show, because I feel like you guys' show aligns with the group therapy sessions more so, in a sense you're actually kind of breaking down relationships and where people go wrong. But it's not coming from a greater than thou perspective. It's because, like, y'all have been through it, like done the work and have come out on the other side. And I just think I would seriously wish everyone could hear it. Like, because like you guys get it right every time. And so I think that's what the group therapy session does, is it highlights some of that stuff. Like, people want to watch the TV shows and, you know, point fingers and think they got the marriage all figured out. But until you actually break down some of the breakdowns, like where that's coming from, it's just it gives a deeper side to the relationships, which I appreciate.
I agree. I do think that I like a lot of things that Peacock has done.
Yeah.
But I do think that one thing that I'm noticing a difference that I don't like is that they have fostered more of a competitive environment.
It's a bit divisive.
And it is like they think that they are on the Hunger Games.
Yes.
And they are ranking each other. They're going at each other.
Yeah, like this whole side of the table needs to.
That was crazy when he said, "You're faking. You're faking. Is this Housewives? What are we doing?" I don't like that, because I also felt like in years past, especially on Lifetime, you guys felt more communal.
I agree.
Like you guys were almost protective of each other and each other's relationship.
Yes.
And it wasn't like you would get in the car with Thomas and be like, we #1 this week. Like, where did y'all get that from?
At all. That's the part that's kind of crazy. And I guess that's the one thing I kind of try to keep in the back of my mind, because I've been there, is that exactly them? It's hard because some of them seem cool. And so I'm like, it's hard
1,000%.
think that that's really in their nature to be doing that. So I'm trying to a small piece of me is trying to give a benefit of the doubt that maybe a lot of this is producer led. I could 100% see them like getting ready to go in for the group dinner and then being like, now make sure basically that you get on
you let them know.
Yeah.
Right. I want you to go in there and tell them how you actually feel. You've been really quiet lately.
No, for real.
Which, again, as a viewer, I do like, because obviously people aren't just going to, you don't want everyone to come in and just be like, oh, yeah, we're doing great. We made a lot of great steps. When you know. So also, I like that we're not just going to let everyone skate by and just be like, oh, we're doing great. Like Devin and Caitlin. Like, no, you're not.
Right.
Like, I do like that. But then, I feel like it's almost goes too far to the other side then, where it's like, people got smoked for people that's not even necessary.
Yeah.
So,
what was your first impressions of Courtney and Nick, given that they decided to end the experiment?
The face.
Yeah, I was honestly glad. I don't think I could watch them on my TV another episode. It really was terrible to watch. And it never changed. Like, honestly, my thoughts of them, unfortunately, never changed from the start to the, like, I couldn't get with, her after some of the first initial interview questions. So it was just like, they never really bounced back from that to me. And so by the time it was time for them to go, I was glad, to be honest, because it just.
I was glad too. But he's not beating. I'm gonna tell you why I think he's not beating the disingenuous moniker. When they leave the dinner, when they leave group therapy after making everyone uncomfortable and deciding to end their marriage, they get into another tiff, right? And the first thing he says to her is like, I'm just so glad, if I could do this process with anybody, it would be with you. And I'm like, that's not a real thing. You just 2 seconds ago in there, you decided you were going to end your marriage. You can't believe those words that are coming out of your mouth.
That's the self-edit thing that he does, that he thinks that everybody is too stupid to realize that he's doing it. And he even in that moment, I'm like, this thing is over, bro. What are you still trying to hold this?
I'd have called a funky dog head ass.
Straight to
you came out here, embarrassed me, you raggedy. And you know what? You're a little too orange. And I've been waiting to say it. It's all over the Mary Tanton sheets.
Yeah.
Okay? It's on my shirts. I can't get it out. I've washed them with gang and tie. Nothing is happening.
Straight up.
And you owe me, and I'm sending you my bill. Okay?
God.
I would have thought like, okay, that would have been a way more authentic response. We know you don't like her. And you're not wrong for not liking her. What I appreciate that Nick did was try. You know what I mean? Like, to me, it just seemed like he was trying. I could tell you didn't like her and she didn't like you. You know what I mean? But you signed up for the process, and what you're signing up to do is to try.
Did you think that he didn't like her? Or do you think that she had created an environment that he
where she was
couldn't
unlikable?
Like her?
I think it was a little more of the latter. I think she really was just this impenetrable force. I think he was going to make it because of his TV side. I think he was going to make it through to the end with anyone. And so
True.
He just got mashed up with quite possibly like
the worst.
situation that he could have, because it was just, then he couldn't just skate by on the kind of surface level stuff. I can't say that I would think he'd be way deeper or different of a person with someone else. I can't comment. But he met his match. And I think that
hello, she was not letting up off that ass.
Yeah.
Nothing was good enough.
And so I don't know. I just have so many mixed feelings on him. And like, again, I don't know him at all, or I hadn't seen any of the shows he was on, but it's just
me neither.
Yeah, I was not ever able to get past that knowledge that he had been on other shows, and I just could never ever take him serious. And did y'all know he doesn't live in Seattle? That man lives in Austin.
He has a home in Austin.
Yes, which I don't understand how he ended up on this casting then.
Me neither. And so,
because it's not like he was just in Portland, like,
well, because of
Cameron. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean, which is, they're trying to give us something, you know what I mean? But you go get some obscure character from some shows nobody watches. And, you know what I mean?
Has anybody seen these shows?
Like, bring somebody back. You know what I wouldn't mind though? And I wonder what you guys think. What if they brought somebody back to be married that didn't have a successful marriage in the Married at First Sight universe?
Like Netflix?
Like, I'm going to do it again.
I would I would watch that.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I would watch that.
But it have to be someone that has bad shake. Like, not a...
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
It would have to be somebody who had a very bad experience.
Like the guy who was lying about being a teacher.
No, not him.
No. I'm saying his wife.
Oh.
Not
do you remember that the DC?
I don't remember her name, but like, he was lying about everything. He was an habitual liar.
He was a
He was.
Mika, right?
Mika.
Oh my God. Mika and Michael.
Yes.
Right.
Good job, Camille.
Very scary stuff. Very scary stuff. Spooky ooky.
Oh my God, that joint was crazy.
But that's what I mean. Like, if we brought somebody back who, we could return to like Charlotte, because I think they're going to Charlotte next season.
Which is
and decide to bring somebody who just didn't get a fair shake. I would not mind that. But bringing somebody, I think, that's been on these shows, these obscure shows. He's not even on anything that, like, Top Chef. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? When I think about reality shows, he's on like he's on shows that are meant for people to be deceitful. The Circle is meant for you to be duplicitous.
I've never watched The Circle.
I've never watched him with him on it, so never met him. When everybody was talking about it, even when they said it was somebody, I'm going to be honest, even when they said it was somebody on the show that was on reality TV, he was the last.
No, not
he has a terrible haircut. There's so many things about him that I'm like, he doesn't seem groomed. Like, look at Harry Jowsey. He looks like groomed for television. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, back. You know how they get the hair underneath the chin and it's all coming down on the neck? Get that. Line that up.
No.
Yeah, I only noticed because he had on a chain.
Yeah. It drew attention to the neck.
Yeah, it drew attention.
I think that is it. Like, and then they, like, again, I have no ill will towards this man, but my whole algorithm now is like the dating shows and everything on Instagram even. Yeah. So I was like scrolling and came on this post that he made, and it's like at his home has this like these like trophy shelves legit of like the 4 shows he's been on now, and like, a little piece of something from each show and like a picture of the logo of the show, and it's legit like decor in his house. And so to me, again, just taking it back to that kind of being protective over the little bit of like authenticity that Married at First Sight has, that just, I don't know, I don't like it. And so it all circles back around that it's not, he wasn't ever
Would you be taken aback by that? Like, if you were paired with someone, so that was a genuine reaction, you believe, to someone being married at first sight to someone on other reality shows?
I think so. I just wish that I don't know that was her issue with him. I don't really know what her issue was.
Right.
She don't either.
She don't either.
I never heard her say, and granted, I also take appreciation for the fact that with 7 couples and an hour-long episode, there's probably so much shit we're not seeing. But
I know. Yep.
Never heard her say, I'm worried about this because he's been on all these shows. I literally don't ever remember, maybe once, like at the wedding when she first found out, but I never heard her say, I'm concerned about this because of this. All we heard was her like dragging this man every chance.
Every
So
chance.
I don't know if it was because he was on shows or she just is really like that or she just didn't like him. I don't know what the problem was, but it was.
You know what I do know though? Even though I don't know her, and I'm also one of those people who's like, I am judging the character that I'm seeing on the television.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like I believe this is who you are as a human. What I know to be true is that that's who she is as a human. And I think, you know what I mean? That's who you are. And I think, the Peacock gods for getting them off. One of the things I appreciated, and I wonder what your thoughts are, was how they immediately nipped it in the bud. Like, you know what? Enough.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
How do you feel about them being like, make a decision right now if you're going to stay in this marriage?
That's one thing that I think Peacock did that I don't think would have happened on Lifetime. That's one thing I'm going to give them. They were like, no bullshit. You have to shit or get off the pot. Yeah. Like, if you want to leave, if you're going to quit on this marriage, like, then go home. And I do appreciate that.
And we're not filming you any longer.
We're not filming you. We're not bringing you back.
That's a big one.
I did appreciate that. Because if y'all going to be here and y'all just going to bullshit everybody, go home. Just get off our screen.
What did you think about that?
Yeah, I like that too, because I think, there's such a big spectrum of where couples can fall on Married at First Sight. But when you've reached that point where they're like, neither person is really trying, let's be honest. It's just time to go because after a little while it gets painful, that even if there's one person that's really trying, the other person doesn't know where they're at, or it still gives us something. But when every single scene is what we saw of them, I cannot take it anymore. And so it's not even good. It's not even fun to watch. It's not even
watch.
It's not even like good entertainment. It's like, this girl is really nasty. And to your point, I agree. I almost always try to say like, okay, this is just like the edit we're seeing. Like this is, I know it looks bad, but you still see some glimmers of the redeeming qualities or whatever. It really solidified to me that that's just how she is. And
that is who she is, baby.
I don't think
when her mama said, you can be rigid, I said, oh, her mother knows.
The whole family.
Yeah. Right. And so that's the thing like that, a lot of people like to fall back on the I'm passionate, I'm unfiltered, I'm expressive, stuff like that. But at a certain point, there's something to be said once we reach adulthood about having a little bit of a filter. Like, I feel like that's an important life skill to have.
Yes.
Especially if it's just brings nothing to helping your relationship. If it's completely unproductive, Mecca, which we'll get to that. If it does nothing where they're headed, some stuff does not have to be said, and no one will be able to convince
100%.
And so
100%.
That's not unfiltered to me. Starts to become like a bad term as you get older. You need to like.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Muzzle yourself. My thing is like, but also I think people forget that how you feel about me is your business.
True.
It ain't my business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think sometimes like we get so caught up in wanting to feel justice. I don't know what that is. Like, I have to tell people how I feel because if I don't, it's going to burn me up inside. And it's like, that is something you have to talk to somebody else about. That's a deeper thing. Because I feel like sometimes it doesn't allow me to give grace in a moment. Like, if I'm always operating in that space, I don't see you as human. Everybody's not showing up at their best self all the time. So sometimes you do things that might hurt somebody's feelings or you say things. I don't think everything warrants a response or anything like that. Sometimes it's just like they may be having a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if it's still bothering me tomorrow, I'll say something.
Right.
But this constant negging of like someone to me can cause that could cause trauma.
It could.
And that's what I was worried about. Not that I really gave a damn about Nick, because truth be told, I did not. because something about him gives me a bit of American Psycho. I don't know what, like just a
Yeah.
tinge.
Yeah.
But I really do believe though that affects someone. You're constantly critiqued at that level. That's
Mhm.
not sustainable for anyone. And if the roles were reversed and he a man talking to a woman all the time about being disingenuous, it would be a movement. We would be in the streets marching.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
if he'd have done what she did at the table at her birthday and told somebody, check your wife,
Mm.
they'd have locked him up right then
what
and
did
there.
you feel about? Because we're segueing into Kate, because I'm done with them. I'm done. And thank the Lord Peacock is too.
Yeah.
We're going to segue right on into Devin and Caitlin. But I want to take you back to episodes previous where at Courtney's birthday party,
Yeah.
Caitlin turns to Devin and says, I don't even know you.
First of all,
I don't even know you like that. Who is you, boy? How did you feel about that interaction, given that you've been on the other side of this? How did you feel about their interaction?
That was crazy work to me because yes, we did all meet at the same time. But again, it goes back to like, okay, you still signed up to be married. And even if you want to take your time getting to know someone and slow burn and all that stuff, it's still the concept of marriage. And so, where would you ever be in a situation where you look at your spouse and say, I don't even know you like that, or take that out of it and just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna listen to her, essentially.
Yeah.
It just,
Because
I
that's
mean,
what happened.
exactly. At the time, it fit the bill, I will say. So I can't really say
It was like
as
par for the course. You're like, I
Yeah.
wasn't even surprised by her behavior.
kind of
Yeah.
made sense, but it's still really, I remember being like, whoa, like it took me back for sure. I was definitely taken aback.
When you saw Devin and Caitlin, what was your first impression?
First impression was so wildly different from what they ended up being, or like what their dynamic is. When I first saw them, I really thought they were going to be one of the strongest couples. They seem really aligned, just kind of, I don't know, similar aesthetics and vibes. And they seem like they really kind of hit it off on the first day. And so I was optimistic.
Yeah.
Aside from the dad not wanting to like walk her down the aisle and stuff, but he was still there. That was
Yeah.
Weird.
That was weird.
yeah.
Strange.
And like wildly selfish. That was it's so
Yes.
hard for me because like my dad would never, even if he
Right.
didn't go on the show,
Yeah.
Tracy would be walking me down that aisle. And
But
so,
then he wanted to stand up and bloviate about it every chance he got.
yeah.
But it also made sense to me though about her.
It's 100%. And it's especially, just when we hear a little bit more about her family and stuff. I don't know. I guess like I guess you could say it was nice to see him like come back around, and he actually had like some words for them that were, to kind of help them along down the road, or seem like more in support, or playing a little more of like the father role. But their trajectory is not at all what I thought it would be. And to me, I don't know, I'm just super into attachment styles. And I know that's another term that like is thrown around really too loosely, but I really think that's what's at play here, and that, push pull of like an anxious and avoidant attachment. But it's just kind of painful to watch in the sense of, again, this is where I feel like I can come in from a point, because I've done it before, to come on a show where it's literally like an accelerated process. It is hard for me to understand why someone who is so avoidant to come on here and really like subject someone to that. Like, I'm again not saying she's a terrible person, but this does not at all seem like the show for her.
Right.
I don't think that Caitlin is a terrible person. I think that I think you made a very good point. Her subjecting Devin to something when she knew that this would be an accelerated process. That to me, I can't quite wrap my mind around. Like, I can't understand why you would make the decision. You yourself, nobody forced you to do this, to sign up for this experiment, go through all of the extensive background checks, the several meetings with, experts, producers, whatever the case may be, and then decide to get married, and they'll decide you're a slow burn. You could have been burning all this goddamn time through the process.
Right.
They gave you months. You ain't been burning.
I'm just tired of hearing people use as an excuse when they sign up to be in an accelerated process that they're a slow burn. Why sign up to marry a stranger?
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't be a slow burn. I'm saying keep your ass off of a show called Married at First Sight or Love Is Blind. It's literally
called
or whatever. Like, it's in the name. It's in the name. You can't get on here and be like, I don't even know you like that.
So Devin calls Caitlyn out at the previous group therapy dinner, okay? And just really airs his grievances and lets her know it's not enough. Everything you're doing is not enough. I don't see anything changing. They get in the car, they have a conversation, and they talk more deeply about how him deciding to air that out in front of people bothered her. What were your thoughts about their conversation around him exposing how he was actually feeling?
I think every time he does that, it's news to her because she thinks they're in a great relationship and he doesn't. To me, like, what would that tell me? Maybe it's because, like, to me, their relationship.
News to her is so funny.
It's like literally like newsflash. Whoa.
It is, though.
You're not loving this relationship where I don't say body and we don't hang out and I don't like.
And I don't talk to you, and I'm not affectionate with you.
Say bye to me in the morning.
But what was the kicker to me was them talking about progress, and he was like, "She tells me when she's leaving the house now." I'm like,
And so that right there solidifies to me he's not being dramatic. Like, he's not just grasping at straws saying she doesn't do enough. Like, if you're not saying bye in the morning, or you're like getting up and leaving the house before he's up, and just that, he's not being dramatic and he's not asking for too much. And I think that that's the thing that happens with that, like, anxious and avoidant push pull, is a lot of times I feel like it's that the anxious person or the person that's needing more, it's them kind of being told, like, you got to chill a little bit, versus like, it's never that, like, the person that's like creating that distance is never that, like, no, you gotta, whatever is causing this like run reaction, you gotta push through that.
You need to work.
Yes. Like, it's not, they don't.
First of all, you ate that up.
Because I do feel like that's been me before. And Married at First Sight is hard because in a lot of these dynamics, even Nick and Courtney, you're like, it's these two people put together. And when someone is telling you, you're doing too much, or you're not enough of this for me, or whatever, and you're put in a situation where you're supposed to work it out by any means necessary, back to what you said earlier, Zara, it can be like, it can cause some trauma to someone.
Yes.
Trying so hard to work it out, but constantly being told, like, you're putting too much.
It's not enough.
Yeah. And I feel like Devin showed up exactly.
Or it's too much.
Yeah. Too much. The too much part. Like, I feel like Devin showed up really ready to do the experience right and move at a pace that feels reasonable, and is being met with this, like, you just got to kind of control your expectations and this and that. And I just feel like the people get to keep people at arm's length and move through the show like it's fine. And it's the other person that needs to adjust. And that part is crazy to me.
What I think you kind of opened up the flower of life on.
Not the flower of life.
Is that one? So she described it as black cat golden retriever. And what I think it is attachment styles. I think it's avoidant and anxious. You know what I mean? And to your point, and maybe all of us practice some of it, you know what I mean? Or a little bit of it at some times, right? But I do think there is something to us speaking more to people who are avoiding attachment and saying, you have to come more to the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
The experts describe Devin as dimming his light. And in these 3 episodes, they asked him, does he still feel like he's dim? You know what I mean? He's not as bright as he actually and normally is. I wonder, do you think that Devin is living his life, from what we've seen.
I think so. I do think so. Because it's hard to, want to be expressive and lovey-dovey and be met with a brick wall. And
Yeah.
then what does that really look like to taper that down? Or then you're constantly trying to figure out what's going to be too much for this person, what they're comfortable with or not. And then you get in this loop where that you're just only trying to figure out how to exist versus like just existing first. And then you can start to conquer life stuff. Like, again, we probably haven't seen a lot of things, but we haven't seen them talk about anything like future related,
Anything.
even their morals, what they're wanting out of life, like none of that, because we're just trying to get past the how we're going to coexist comfortable both parties. Really for Caitlyn, how we're going to
for Caitlyn.
Yes. How are we going to make this comfortable for you? And so, yeah, that's, it goes into like the dinner. Then they have that whole conversation about like, could you say yes with someone if y'all haven't slept together yet and everything. And that was a whole big topic of conversation. But again, I feel like that felt so way out of bounds because they're not anywhere close to that.
Right.
They're not. So, but my question is, do you think it's out of bounds to say, I would say no if I haven't been intimate with the person?
No, I think that turned into a whole big debate when really I think people are allowed to feel however they want to feel when it comes to that. But I don't think anyone should put too much on
pressure.
Either yes or no. Yeah, like everyone can feel how they want to feel. So I don't think there's like a right or wrong answer. I know I would agree. Like I was trying to, like
she said, what they do?
Because like to me, it does also make sense. That's what like I don't shame people who are like,
no, for sure.
Straight up.
Because
but this also says more about how serious you were because you're like, I am not looking at this from a 8-week perspective. I'm looking at this holistic with my life. You know what I mean? And in my life, we got to do some things. You know what I mean?
And that's okay. That's okay.
Yes. So
what did you think about the label that people are putting on Devin when they say like he's placating her when he's using, language from therapy, when he's like grounding himself and things like that? Like, what was your take on that?
Yeah, I don't like the narrative at all that there's some kind of like, I've even seen there's some like almost like manipulation tactics with that.
Right.
I've really seen a man who has like tried to do some work on himself. And I think people are meant to go to therapy to get tools from it that you can use later on. Yes. Yep. And so I think that's great. And I feel like it feels so weird to someone
who's untherapized.
Yes. Yeah. Well, again, I don't know the lady, so I can't say that she's never done therapy, but like it's kind of presenting that way. And so then to kind of weaponize him and the work he's done definitely feels unfair to me.
Because I felt like it was a lot of fodder about him being, I understand you. I hear you. I said, when I hear a man say that, that's a man who was once not listening to someone.
Yes.
So he knows that, okay, it might be getting worked up, but I need you to know that I'm like listening to you. That didn't give to me that like I'm dismissing what you're saying. It gave to me that like I'm checking myself. I'm grounding myself in this moment. And I'm letting you know and myself know, because I got to say it out loud so I know. I'm listening. I hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's getting a bad rap in that regard. But Caitlyn is still the problem.
Thanks.
She's still the problem. Even at the dinner, I feel like she made a bigger deal of what he was saying about, he kind of alluded to the fact that if you don't get fulfilled at home, people find fulfillment where they need to find fulfillment.
Yeah. And I couldn't tell if that was a Freudian slip or if he was like, I can't put that on that he was speaking from his true self. It came off like that at first, like, ooh, that it sounded personal, but in the end, I don't think that he meant that as like, that's what I'm gonna do.
But I don't think he meant that as what he is going to do, but I also had no problem with him saying it.
I didn't either. And neither did Dr. Paz. She
Because-
was like, he's right.
Right. Because my thing is, he is unfulfilled. The problem is that the shoe fit, right? And she knows it fit. So that's why she's giving us this pushback in the moment, right? She absolutely knows where she stands in her relationship, despite the fact that she tries to pretend to us that she doesn't, like you said, this is news to her. You know what I mean? She actually knows. Because otherwise she wouldn't have felt any way about what he said. She would have still been like, it's news to me.
Right.
You know what I mean? That you unfulfilled, right?
And I can't remember, I guess maybe it was, at least from an editing standpoint, it did kind of get like grouped up with the sexual talk, I think. But I think she also just took it right with a sexual undertone, when really that could just mean anything, like just intimacy.
Yeah. Right.
And so, yeah, I would never agree that like, if you're not getting something at home, go find it elsewhere. But there's definitely something to be said, like on the other end of the spectrum, if you're completely getting like stonewalled, that's different. You know, like there's levels to that too. And so I also don't think it was just this wildly outlandish comment, because again, even if it's not cheating and sex and everything, even if it's just that like, warmth,
emotional, yes,
like that, I think that is human nature to, if you get nothing at home.
Yes, look for companionship. It's naturally, we are built for that. That's why, like, when people talk about being alone, not alone, but like single and everything, like it's the thing to do. I'm like, we're quite literally built to live in this ecosystem of life.
Yeah.
We're built, like our electrons fire when we're closer to people. And that's purposeful.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that we I don't know what's happening here, but there is this thing where they want us to be siloed. And it's like you don't need anybody else to be great. It's like, that's just not true. And I don't want, and I think you can be great. Don't get me wrong. But I think that with support and somebody helping you get there, things change. You know what I mean? You can like push yourself into a whole nother timeline. And I think that's lost on so many people. This Destiny's Child did us a disservice, because all of them are dependent women. Don't get it fucked up.
Straight up.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and we all are like, Beyonce traveling all over the world with her man. They together every single place, right? Kelly, don't play about hers. They together every single place. And the truth of the matter is, that's because in our ecosystem, it only works because we are growing and building together. And I think there is something in the zeitgeist going on where we're trying to keep the men alone, sad, scary, violent. You know what I mean? And the women, like, all we get is money. Nobody needs you. You know what I mean? It's strong and independent. And it's like, I want us to kind of understand, Caitlin, that it's okay to be not even softer. It's okay to depend on your partner. It's okay to show up for your partner. It is okay to be softer. Maybe it is softer. It's okay to be that way. And I want to see her. I'm going to be honest. I don't have faith that she can grow into that role. I don't have faith.
At least not today. She's not ready. I don't know how she got picked on this show, but she's not ready. And I don't.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
I was a young woman once before as well, but she's not ready. Like, and what do you feel about her constantly bringing up, she's not the only one, but constantly bringing up her past traumas? What do you guys think about that?
I think that is a perfect example of where some people come on this show and they do really realize why they were single coming into this, or brought to the light. Everyone, I mean, myself included, like it really does highlight some of your past relationship patterns. But that's where it's important to take that realization and then commit to doing something differently. What kills me always is, again, either weaponizing it and falling back. I think it's so easy to fall back on, like, I show up in relationships this way because I was done dirty, this.
Yes.
Instead of like recognizing is the first thing. I think that's what Married at First Sight will do for a lot of people, is highlight that. But then you have to use that and show up differently. And so I think that's where there's a little bit of disconnect, and everyone's trying is different. But there's a little disconnect on the, okay, this is how you've always been, or this is what happened in, why you are the way this way, but is this relationship going to end up like the rest, or are you going to
Right.
do something differently?
What do you think? So I know that, like, it's important for people to have their own things, right? Like their own
Mhm.
hobbies, their own this or their own that, right? For like themselves. But what do you think about the conversation that Devin and Caitlin are having around closeness and proximity to one another? Like, is it a big deal for someone not to want to engage? Because I think this is a theme for several of the couples here, right? Everybody doesn't have the same hobbies. Everybody doesn't have the same likes. And it feels like she thinks it's okay to thrive in a relationship where they don't have contact. What are your thoughts about how do you in time kind of balance you wanting to do things, you going out and still keeping it, loving and spicy?
I think that's a great question. I think it goes back, and I know I've heard y'all say this before, like the baseline is liking your partner and,
Mhm.
wanting to be around them because you like them. And so I think that that plays a big part because I feel like coming into Married at First Sight, I feel like it is easy, or I was one of those people where if you spend enough time alone, you do kind of get set in your ways. And it's just, I think it's
Mhm.
the easier route to be like,
Mhm.
I'm just going to keep my space. It's safer, versus really
Mhm.
thinking, what does that look like to bring your lives together? And so I think that's another arm bar, keeping someone at a distance. But
Yes.
I love doing stuff with Tom. Like, I feel like we just time together. We're just laughing, being silly. And I think we both have things that we like to do. I think we both do like to do a lot of the same things too. So that does help. But I 100% agree, when you guys talk about even just doing something because your partner likes it. I feel like Tom
Mhm.
and I are both those kind of partners where
Yes.
he, I can't tell you how many girls' brunches he's come to and how many.
Yeah. That's the kind of girl I am, girl. I'm like, oh, Joe coming. And I'm calling you outside the
Somebody
place
to
just so
go.
you know Joe's here. Don't talk about Not that
Exactly.
matters. They're going to talk about what they want to talk about. But
Yeah, and so I really think that that is a super important thing. I like the idea of still having some of your things that you can do by yourself if you want, but I think that is one of the best parts about a relationship is doing things together, but not having that expectation that the person has to like the same things as you.
Right.
There's a well, yeah, that's the piece that's missing is like, y'all do know that you can still, and that's kind of what Caitlin's dad was talking about. So again, it kind of came in
yes.
this like rough package, how he was delivering
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But
It was rough too. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
But the content was there.
yeah, the content was there. I've heard a couple times the reference "shoot myself in the head" this season, and that's 2 times too many. Like that.
I thought
That's
it
Wait
was
up.
twice.
It is like a lie.
Oh my goodness.
it
I
was
put that in my notes. It was
yeah.
him twice.
Well, it was him, and then it was Courtney on week 1, like being around
Yeah.
him.
Oh my
Shoot
goodness.
myself in the head.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe I'm getting
Slow
too.
down. But you know what it is? It's them.
Yeah.
It is.
Them and
I'm
those guns.
I'm
What is that?
I'm saying, how did we
I'm
get to that?
just saying.
Yeah, how did
Oh,
we
y'all
go?
went all the way there? Light something on fire first. Damn.
That's a lie.
Yeah, so
Just
the content was there. I think that, but I think there's something to be said about that. And I think that's like the plot that a lot of people are lost on is just that concept
Yes.
doing stuff with your partner, even if you don't really feel like it because they like it. And then you get to spend more time together and see I remember y'all saying that too. Like, then you get to see someone in their element. I think Devin made
Yes.
a comment about that, like doing some of the things I like to do just simply for the fact that I like to do them. And I feel like it was
Mhm.
so spot on. And the stuff Devin says be going over people's heads. And like,
I
they just,
know. It's so sad.
yeah.
It's
So
it's
sad.
so sad because I'm gonna
It's
be
because
honest.
his hair is striped.
It's the highlights.
It's the
Um,
highlights.
But you know what? I'm
There-
gonna be honest. I truly do believe that the couples that I know that are like strong, that most people would consider strong couples, they don't operate in silos. They
Mhm.
do a lot together. They enjoy their time together. It doesn't come off like work to them.
And I don't even think about what I don't like to do with you.
I don't either.
Like, it doesn't even cross my mind that this is something I don't like to do. I just like my person and I just want to do things they want to do. Like, it's not even like
Yeah.
I don't like to do that. It's
My
like,
baseline is, are we doing it together?
right.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't really care what it is. If we're together, I'm with it. You know what I
I
mean?
took him to a warehouse and tried on wigs for like 2 hours. We just in the warehouse, he in the back.
seriously,
I'm just in there talking to the people about the wigs, everything like that. And he just was there.
Yeah.
I love it.
I just believe that it's a basis for a solid foundation
Yes.
for relationship, period. I just believe that when you are less concerned about, you know, especially when you're in a process like that, you just met this person. You don't even know this person. And the first thing you're worried about is how much time y'all spending apart.
Yeah.
That's
How
why
did we get here?
That's the only thing that kind of concerns me for like longevity wise with them too is I heard someone else say it too. She's not saying, oh, I just need time to warm up and then I'm going to be this and that, or then I'm going to be all in.
No, she said, this is who I am.
Yes. And her friends kind of solidified that too with like,
Yes.
the pace is a sloth or whatever they said. I just don't know that she is that type of person that Devin's looking for, even getting past
Right.
the warm stage. So
Right.
that's the concern with them. I don't know if there's enough there that it's going to be a sustainable thing.
You and Devin, I feel like, have something in common where you guys are like athletes and you have this understanding of like being the best and being great and not in competition, not in the sense of competing with other couples, but more like being competing with yourself, right? And committing to something and the discipline that requires. Do you
Yes.
think that's why you were as successful, you and Tom were as successful as you were? Do you think you just making a decision to be married at first sight was something that you committed to and that was helped you see it all the way through?
100%. I feel like I resonate with that so much. And that's what kills me about a lot of these couples, even some of the couples that were on my season. A lot of times it's rare that I feel like I see a couple on Married at First Sight and like, why the fuck did they put them two together? I think a lot of times there's stuff there, but people want to fall back onto their kind of the dating habits and the dating mentality. And that's literally always their demise. And I think that's part of it. Like, you know, everyone got to see Tom and I's journey in the sense that it was like a slow, gradual, sustainable build. It wasn't these like crazy sparks right out the gate. Like it did take actively leaning into it because everyone probably goes on the show and has a quick visceral reaction like, whoa, this is actually crazy. Like, what did I do?
Yes.
Well, you do have that element of like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work out because of this. Like you almost are. That's the dating world is you're so used to approaching it like the reasons why it won't work out versus leaning into the reasons why it could. And I literally feel like that's what separates the people who make it on Married at First Sight and who don't. Like, I don't know if there's been that many connections that were like seamless from moment one. And like they met and they were never going back. I think it was because both people chose to lean into the discomfort instead of the leaning away. And I literally, so to your point, yes, I feel like I wasn't going in Married at First Sight and failing unless I got with like literally a straight
an abuser.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Abuser. Yes. Like otherwise I was gonna make it work. And people get kind of dragged for that, or I'm sure we'll get into it with like Mecca and Beljolie and like
yes.
Pick Me stuff that you guys were talking about last week. Like people start to get dragged for coming into Married at First Sight and they were going to make it work with anyone. But like that is what you need to come in.
You need a little bit of that.
Right,
you need the optimism of that. And I think so often because this is televised, we kind of get this TV, like, oh, they're just trying to get clicks thing, right? But there is a world where people arrange marriages.
Right.
Like, this isn't like a lost art. Like, this isn't a new art. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Like, this is things that people have done. It's just literally leaning into the fact that you had a matchmaker.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm glad you segued. I wasn't going to Mecca and Beljolie, but you brought them up twice, so we're going there now. So I want to know, when I saw Mecca and Beljolie, I was very happy that he was a very good looking man and she was a very good looking woman, because sometimes that could be a hurdle, right? You know what I mean? Upon further inspection, there are much more hurdles to get over with these two than what the looks was a hurdle for Mecca, but we're going to get there. But I wanna. The fashions is a hurdle for me with Belle Jolie.
Child.
They spoke about Mecca being performative, and I want to take a step back. I've been asking you your first impressions of the couples. What was your first impression of Mecca and Belle Jolie?
I really have loved Belle Jolie from day one. I can't lie. I just think she is like the sweetest thing. I think she's so cute. And I really feel like she's showing up authentically and warm and open. And I truly have no notes on her on like what she could be doing differently. I don't know if I've ever seen someone on Married at First Sight, myself included, that I've felt that way about. And so I feel like I felt really hopeful because of her, no matter what. I felt like she was going to do good. And then I can't lie. I feel like I've seen so many opinions on Mecca literally from day one. To me, episode 1, he was giving completely unserious. And it's been kind of hard for me to take him seriously. I think as each episode goes on and we start to get a little more context on maybe why he is the way that he is. Again, in the words of Sean, I'm not saying anything's wrong with you, but there's
Period. I have notes.
Notes. I'm like, let me scroll down to my whole page of notes on them. I think that performative, 100%, but maybe not in
completely agree.
Right.
But not in the context. I think you guys said it last week. Performative a lot of times gets misconstrued as fake. So I don't think he's fake, but I've never seen someone more performative. Not even someone on, do you have talent? America's Got Talent, whatever. I've never seen
Girl, me and Joe had to film that episode twice. We got into such an argument because I was like, I'm not letting up off this. He is in fact.
That's not what got into an argument though.
It started it though. Well, no, because I was agreeing with Michelle. When Michelle sat there and said, I thought it was performative. I said, it was performative. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is disputing that Mecca is performative. I think
you may have thought the intent. I thought there was some ill intent behind it.
Camille, you hit on it with the fake thing.
Yes.
And I think that's why Belle Jolie bucked up, because she was like, could he be performative? Yes. Is he fake in that the way he treats me and the way that we are off camera? I feel like he likes me. I feel, we have a chemistry, whatever. And so I think that's what she was speaking to too. Like I think people did conflate that a lot.
I feel like Belle Jolie likes Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily get the feeling that is reciprocated, that he likes her. Nothing about what he does I feel like is different, showing up, being a spouse, nothing, right? And I didn't have any, it's weird because I didn't even have any evidence. It just didn't feel like it was something to me, right? And then we have this episode, which almost kind of like cracked open the earth. Because I'm like, this is what I'm saying. Like I said earlier, in earlier episodes, that I feel like Mecca's going to find a way to weaponize his trauma. And he's going to use it as a tool to get her not to like him. Now, I want y'all to remember that because I said that. They speak about their childhood early on in the episodes, right? And he speaks about wetting the bed and everything like that. And in the moment, I was so moved that he felt the need to share that. And then we got the last episode. And because I'm a therapized human being, I thought, oh, he was telling her that so she wouldn't like him.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't telling her that because he wanted to share with her a trauma that he experienced as a child.
Oh.
He wants to distance himself from her.
Well, one thing that I think we collectively we hit on early was that we knew Mecca was a self-sabotager.
Very true.
You know what I mean? And so a lot of the stuff that he's doing now, to me, is not surprising, because this is classic self-sabotaging is to me. You know what I mean? Especially when you start to feel like this could potentially go somewhere, because they've had times where it was clear that they were vibing with each other. It was clear that I don't think Belle Jolie is completely aloof.
No.
You understand what I'm saying?
I don't think she's aloof, but I do think she's committed.
She is.
And I think sometimes that can give you, I think the way that they've created the environment in this iteration of Married at First Sight, it's so competitive that you hear somebody say something about your spouse and you take it personally. You do start to build a fence, a dome around you too. And it kind of can blur. I think she's living in the blur. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I do think he's
I don't
been
think she's
telling
an
her.
idiot though. Just don't think that like she's 100% blind on her synopsis of how their relationship is off camera. And I think now within the discourse of their relationship, it is now it's kind of teetering on. Belle Jolie is completely blind. It feels like people are now throwing Belle Jolie into the like, she's a pick me, she's blind, she's just so thirsty that he's a piece.
Well, she definitely has
I mean?
a cataract. She got a little stigmatism.
No, she could
But you know,
that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's 100%.
No, it's
She
not
can
100%.
She
got
can
a
be
little
part of some
thing.
of those things, but I don't think that she's an idiot. I think she's a very smart girl. I think she's very intelligent. I think she's very
But we see her
intuitive.
coming too, and at the dinner, we see in her confessional where she like, hold the fuck up.
Yeah.
You know,
She's a self-sabotager.
do I think he is a self-sabotager? Yes. Do I think he's self-sabotaging this? No. I think that to be a self-sabotager, you would have to understand that this actually might be good for me, right? But I'm just going to go with what I naturally feel. It make me uncomfortable, and I'm just going to go with the feeling, the way that I normally handle uncomfortable situations, right? I don't think that's what he's doing. I think that he's curating it. I think that it's intentional what he's doing.
I think he can't help it. That's what Paul was saying to him. Like, I think you recognize that Belle Jolie is a good person and could be a good wife and all of the things. And you being a classic stage one self-sabotager is making you to say silly shit to her. Like, you know what? I think you like me more than I like you.
I could not wait to come on here and just hear you guys' thoughts. And so it's interesting because that's why I wanted to ask y'all, like, that last bit at the table, what was that? Like, what even was that? I've had, when I tell you, like, I'm silly, expressive with my face, all that, that was the only time that I can ever remember in life my jaw dropping involuntarily. Like, my jaw dropped when he was saying that. And I think maybe because it was on the back of him doing the nice stuff for her birthday and like feeling like they had been progressing and maybe, you know, that's what I couldn't figure out, because in my mind, I feel like we've been getting bits and pieces again, why he is the way that he is. And so I was maybe giving more grace for that. But then he says that, and I'm like, is it the self-sabotaging, or is it just, I don't know. And that, to me, like, that goes back to that. It was so out of pocket and unnecessary and just something you do not have to say, because what does you thinking at the first time you saw her that she wasn't pretty enough for you, what could that possibly contribute to this relationship? Like, what could that
nothing, zero. But that's what the self-sabotaging is, right? You mentioned what he did for her birthday, right? Which we all thought
it was beautiful.
Right? But that's what it is. It's 10 steps forward and 30 steps backwards.
And that's why you feel like
that's exactly what it is.
Self-sabotage. Yeah. And I feel like for him, it's a Tuesday. There was a man who said something like, see, y'all think what I'm doing for you is special, but what I'm doing is just a Tuesday. I know a lot of rich motherfuckers who like to spend bread, and not to say that he's rich. I don't want to go all the way there, but I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? I'm saying, like, let's keep it 100. Like, men will spend money on you doing your thing. I'm going to do my thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like what he did was, and this is the problem, because I don't want to make it seem like he's incapable of getting there. What I'm really genuinely trying to get at is that I think he's genuinely this guy. I think he dates women. I think he makes women feel good. And I think he sets an expectation. And the expectation is that don't think you're getting too comfortable around here. Because I'm going to throw something in here that's going to upend all this shit. And that's pissing in the bed. Not to say that you shouldn't bring that up with your wife. I thought that was so important to have that conversation. But I think to do that and then turn around and let everybody at a table where nobody asked you, by the way. No one asked. No one asked.
I talked to my
You know what I mean?
Yes. I talked to my sister a lot, or we were texting through the whole show or whatever. And so we were talking afterwards, and she was like, okay, now I got to leave tomorrow, because not only did you like say it to me, then you said it in front of a group. And also you've now said it on national television. So now we got to fight. You know, now I got to walk
twice.
Out. Just, off the strength of that. And so that's what, it's interesting, your take, Zar, because for some reason, I do not get at all the dates lots of women. Like, that to me
I
gives
don't get that either.
like Mecca got it like that. Not even money wise, but he just got it like that.
No, like the Riz. Yes.
I am literally over here on like cornball status, and I can't unsee that, like literally from day one.
Oh,
And
From day one, I was like, ew.
yeah. And so to me, it's giving like, it's almost giving that, what you say
That
about
incel?
you trying to not get no pussy. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. You talking
Yeah,
yourself
yeah,
out of the
yeah,
How do
yeah,
y'all do
yeah.
that? It's like in your face. You gonna talk yourself out. You're talking to it. You're talking to it. And you're gonna talk yourself out of it?
yeah. And so it's almost giving that like lack of experience coupled
Yeah.
with, it goes back to that unfiltered thing. And I'm sorry, I could not get with the dad. Like, I thought he was so like wildly inappropriate.
He
And
was.
bringing the spotlight back to him, and just when, again, not therapizing, I don't know none of these people, but when you're raised, or when that's who you're raised around, and like he clearly has no problem saying any type of thing in front of anyone, it takes that filter away. Like, you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
think about what you're saying a little bit, even if that's your truth. Like, I've never seen
It added nothing.
yes, and I've never seen it benefit anyone on Married at First Sight to let your partner know that you weren't or aren't attracted to them.
Right.
So
Right. And I think that's right. And I think to your point about him being a cornball, like this is what I was saying when I don't know if you remember, we was talking about this like way earlier in the season where he mentioned that like he didn't think that he was deserving of love. And he's been, and I said, I think a lot of this stems from like his experience in dating in the world. I don't think he's had a lot of success. I don't think he's
Well,
that guy.
that's
I
for
don't
sure.
think that like he's had all of these options and stuff. You know what I mean? I think this is the inner cornball coming out and manifesting itself on television, and then all of this is trying to cloak it in like I'm that guy, like I'm outside, like I have options. But I think that's the performative part to me.
But so this is my other piece, right? I do believe so. I believe the contrary. I think that Mecca gets a lot of attention from women. Now, is that successful attention? Is that good attention? Whatever the case may be, I don't know.
Mhm.
Women have, in the last few years on our journey to being independent Destiny's Child style, has turned men into bad bitches. We don't even know that we doing it in our way, right? Because now we make the money. I don't have to settle for no ugly motherfucker. I can really go get the guy I want because me and him in the same spot, right? But the truth of the matter is, it creates an army of bad bitches. And he is a bad bitch. We just had a conversation. One of our friends is a bad bitch. I literally said, me and him, we pull up to the club. The joint paying for her own way in. He's standing beside her like, she got it. I'm a bad bitch, she a bad bitch. You know what I mean? Like, we get it, right? I think that Mecca said that from a space to deprecate her and to control the situation. It may be getting away from him. In the self-sabotage, if we go down the self-sabotage lane, Joe, it may be getting away with him, how he's feeling for her and how it's expanding and growing. And because of that, he has to ground himself in insults. And the way he does that is by insulting his wife in front of a group of people. And I do think, Camille, you hit on this, and I had this in my notes. This all stems from how his father speaks to him. We saw at the wedding how his father thought it was apropos to list everything his son did not complete while getting married at first sight to a stranger. To me, that was like completely like, what are we? This is not his strengths. Apparently, you know what I mean? Because I said this to Joe. It felt like he was displaying that his son was more wayward than that he was a good person. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree.
So I think, no, I think that seeing his dad and him being like, oh my God, this is my dad, like he loves me, boop, boop, he sees that as love. And that might be speaking to the self-sabotage that you guys are speaking to.
Yes.
I just genuinely haven't seen. I want to feel the feels with them that I feel with maybe Cameron and Michelle. Maybe Cameron and Michelle, because they've been pissing me off too. But I don't feel like I do feel like Belle Jolie in some ways is taking scraps. in some ways, I feel like it's given a little bit she's not being fulfilled. She's not.
Yes, I will say so. I understand what both you guys are saying, and especially like even a little bit of like the blinders, stigmatism thing. I think I think him saying that at the end brought her crashing back down to earth. And I think that
for sure.
when she's in it, and I think she was getting enough even off of camera, and because even as a viewer, like I really did feel like, oh, they are getting closer, like it's growing. And so I think, again, yeah, definitely not on the pick me level. I think showing up how you're supposed to in the relationship and all of that is exactly what she's been doing, and she's been really leaning into the discomfort. And I agree, Joe, I know you guys both think that she's not stupid, so I definitely do think that from the moment he had that like percentage of attraction conversation, I think that grounded her and was like, oh, okay, I gotta at least just be mindful of how
move with caution. Yes. Yeah.
And so I think there's been that element, but she probably, I feel like, has been leaning into the relationship because it seemed to be moving in the right direction. And there was this element of like, oh, maybe he is starting to like her and all of that. So that's where I'm like, again, Zar, oh, he actually hasn't been liking her this whole time? Or is it a true self-sabotage, a combo of both? I don't know, but that threw me off so bad. And like,
it threw me off so bad, and it made me so uncomfortable.
Yes. And I think it's because I really, really like her. And I think that she just seems like a really beautiful human, despite how she grew up. Like her shit isn't bubbling out. Like stuff that like how she grew up, and like we got a little piece of that it wasn't sunshine and rainbows at all in her childhood.
Right.
To show up and hold space for people and all that, which again, don't get me on my soapbox, because I think that's just men and women in general. Like women are able to emotionally multitask a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
But like
emotionally multitask, y'all be learning things. I like that.
Handling, able to jump more things, a man ain't doing well at work and now he got to leave the marriage. Like, but
or he want to blow your brains. For real, he want to leave the marriage, the Clancy's or whatever their name is, and he just kill all the kids. It's like, wait, you can just laugh.
Right.
Just leave.
Yes. And so I think she's been showing up how she was supposed to. And some of that is a little bit of that like delusion that I'm going to really lean into this, and this is the relationship for me, and seeing that all the way through. But I think that comment just completely threw her off. And I feel like we saw that a little bit in the preview coming up, as it should, because that was just seriously so unnecessary. And I've been I've been liking them because of her, but that shit, that really took me back. And now I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to see it for them, but that's hard to bounce back from, because again, it just creates this, now what's the vibe?
Doubt.
Relationship. Yeah. Like, okay. So because we knew you were more attracted to me. Okay, cool. But now to say, you really weren't it, period, from when I first saw you, like, and y'all both leaned at the same.
But I actually believe he was more attracted to Belle Jolie than she was to him. I genuinely believe that. I think it caught him off guard, right? And I think to ground himself, he has to deprecate. And I think he gets that from his father, because his father doesn't love him. He doesn't show his love. I believe his father loves him fully. He does not show his love in a way that's conventional. He shows it through jonesing on him and doing this and doing that, right? So that's why I believe we're going through this. It's almost made to seem like, oh, it's a joke, or I'm so fucking evolved, I can love somebody who I think ain't my type. A man is representative only of his actions. We all say a lot of things, right? But to create an environment where I feel uncomfortable. Imagine me getting dressed up, looking like Princess Peach and all this goddamn pink and lace and silly ass shit for motherfuckers to decide they're gonna sit in my face and tell me, child. Imagine I did all that, and then you would sit in front of my face in front of these people.
And my thing is, Belle Jolie is cute.
Beyond.
I don't know what the fashions is wrestling. They tussling with her.
It's a performance. You know what it is? It's a symptom of her not having everything that she wanted as a child. So now she got to be Mrs. Put everything the fuck on. You know what I mean,
Put
I'm gonna put it
everything.
all
Put it
on.
all
What you mean
on.
it's 80 degrees? Girl, you got on a chinchilla. It's 80
Yeah, how does it cold
You know
outside?
what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because I need everybody to know that I'm that girl. I've reached this thing, which I'm not even, that's not, I say that I can't stand the fashion, but girl, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But I think
But
deep
that-
down, who she is a beautiful person.
For sure.
And I think that I don't think that you should speak to someone in that regard, especially like we speak about the filter, and that's a big theme of what we're talking about this episode. I think that it's so important to filter yourself with your spouse. Marriage is long, it's a marathon, right? So it's like, there are going to be things you cannot unhear.
Right.
Mhm.
She'll
Yeah.
be 6 years from now sleeping on this motherfucker really sat up in this room full of all these people we no longer know and told them that he wasn't. She'll never forget it.
And also this is one of those, this is a process where it does not benefit you to constantly bring up these hurdles, right? Like that's why we keep saying I want Nikki to stop saying how much she wasn't attracted to Sean. Like if you're here and you're committed and you believe that it's going to grow, then let it grow. We don't
Yeah.
have to constantly, like, you know what I mean, go relive. Well, when I seen you at the altar, I was like, but I love you now. Like we don't need to relive that.
So let's go ahead and segue into Nikki and Sean. How important do you believe, Camille, it is at all through the process to say how attracted you are to your spouse or were to your spouse?
I think it needs to be done away with completely. I need there to be some kind of punishment for saying those words.
Flashing.
Shame.
Because, yes, like unless it's I'm so attracted to you, it's so unnecessary and so unproductive, because that's truly, if you feel that way, cool. But please, like, tell me it just sets this tone that, like you guys said, it's so hard to come back from and build anything from, because now it just creates this second guessing. It creates this, in a where we have 6-8 weeks to decide what we're gonna do, to just even lay that on the table, that's taking away from us being able to get to know each other and this and that. And I think,
Yes.
I don't know if it's a way to create distance. I don't know if it's just people trying to be honest, or I don't know what it is, but it's just something that can just truly live as a thought, and that's it. That's all.
And I think it creates this environment like we are seeing with Sean and Nikki, where I feel, and this is not for me, I'm not trying to keep for Sean because I have so many notes, but I do think that the constant talking about how you're not attracted to me, when you said you were sapiosexual, like Nikki used the word sapiosexual. You can't
Right.
do that and then turn around and say, well, when I saw you, I didn't get the feeling or whatever that I was expected to get. I think that's so unfair. And I think that it does a disservice to the journey that you're on. Because I do think there is a world in which these two could be compatible.
I agree.
I don't know if it's on this earth or in the multiverse, but I do think, oh, Jesus, that I think that she could grow to like him. I think that a lot of times when we're single, we create the person that we want to be, and we don't realize that it's built on lies. You lied to yourself and told yourself you were a sapiosexual. You are, in fact, not that person. You know what I mean? And you probably said it to sound deep, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm open to being whatever, but you're not. It's giving puddle in a parking lot. And it's the fact that, and it's okay. And that's okay, right? Because we want to match you based on what it actually is.
Yeah.
And I find that we get these couplings like this when they're not being actually honest, they're presenting. And as a woman, I get it, because I'm a woman in corporate and I was going far too. You almost operate at that place all the time because you never know when you have to be on. You know what I mean? So I think, and it did her a disservice. But I think if she would have told them, no, I'm into the physical like I'm into the money. Okay, he gotta have this and he gotta have that. I genuinely believe Nikki would have still been a very good person to have on here. And I think they might have found her somebody who may have been a little bit more her flavor physically. I genuinely believe that.
But also my thing is, this is the process that you signed up for. You signed up to not have autonomy over the physical appearance of your spouse.
He's right.
That
So
is
I
true.
don't, I just think like we have to, like Camille said, we have to be released of that when you sign up for a show called Married at First Sight.
Mhm.
Are you a sapiosexual? You would need to be committed to being completely open-minded to the physical appearance of your person to even be on the show. You don't have to be on this show. Nobody is forcing anybody to sign up for this.
Right.
So I just think let's do away with all the like, well, I wish you was this and I like why show up and be on a show if you was gonna have so many things to pick apart about the appearance of your spouse.
Oh,
Dr. Lisa said something that I thought was really important. She was going to Biofiles, not to shout out the Biofiles, but more so, I thought it was really important because he was kind of making it sound like there's this desperation and that's why people reach out for this process. And she said, no, I think it's more hope. You know what I mean? Hope that maybe I am doing something. I'm getting in my own way in some ways and I don't have all the answers. And I hope somebody else can see me and see one that I'm deserving of this kind of relationship in this depth and that I can be matched for somebody who wants the same thing. And I felt like that was spot on. And I think sometimes these people get into this process and forget that piece of it. Like there's still the hope there that we just want to be seen. You know what I mean? And I think I'm curious, Camille, what was your first impressions of Nikki and Sean? They told us what theirs was of each other, but what do you think?
Yeah, I thought, I will know they won't ever get me to hate Sean, because I don't think he's like
Me
a
neither.
bad guy. Yeah, like
I don't.
does he say some shit that's like, boy, please?
Annoying, yes.
Yes. He can be annoying, but I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he could be a good partner. They both clearly just have things that they need to work through a little bit. And even if it's just how they're showing up in relationships, I don't know that it's ever been exposed like this. So hopefully they'll just take something from it a little bit. And unless it's really good acting, they both kind of seem to be softening a little bit in that like competition, one-upmanship, all of that. But I never thought they were like really grossly mismatched. And that was one thing I was going to take back to what you said. Like one narrative that I hate, and it happens every season, is just like, oh, they played in somebody's face. Like, again, unless someone is like a terrible human being, I really don't think that he was a terrible match for her. And I just think that, people been on his ass since day one because they thought it was this huge mismatch and that he shouldn't even be on the show. And like, they didn't give her anything she was asking for or anything like that. And I just, yeah, we have to do away with the experts fucked up. Like they shouldn't have casted this person. The people, producers, experts, whoever's actually doing the matching is only able to see what these people say and do in the interview.
Yes.
And so it can't be this like, even down to like the anxious avoid, Caitlin and Devin, like no one, either they don't know it about themselves or they're not saying coming into this process that this is how I show up in relationships. And so you can't possibly.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yes.
I think that's a major, major, major part of it. I think that these people, the lack of self-awareness, I think is the thread through all of them, right? Because I think that I think that Devin, Caitlin, I think Courtney, I think Nikki, you all aren't getting what you wanted from this process, primarily because I think of how you present it. I think that, you know what I mean? I completely agree.
Because you sit in front of somebody, you tell me you're a sapiosexual, and then all you want to talk about is how he wasn't your vibe physically. If I was the matchmaker, I would feel like this. I thought this wasn't.
I would be coming there like Pastor Cal did with the video. This is what you asked you. Did you like the black?
That was my favorite thing.
And you said you didn't like the blacks. Okay,
this is what you asked for.
That's what you asked for. I think that's so important, but I think that's such a good thing to say. And I completely agree with what you're saying, Camille, because there is something happening where we're like, oh no, Sean they're playing in Nikki's face. We don't feel like Nikki is playing in Sean's face in no way.
Well,
I think the hurt.
No, I was going to say it takes the responsibility off the people who are participating in this experiment.
Right.
It's like this mismatch. It's, why the experts put them together? No, why are they coming on here and being argumentative? Why are they coming on here and being distant? Why are they coming on here and not wanting to be around their
introduce people to their parents and friends, Nikki?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, bro. Come on.
Like, no way that's the experts' fault. Like,
what do you think about that? About Nikki not introducing Sean to her family, the people who are close to her? What are your thoughts?
I think it's another distancing tactic. I think it's another way to kind of like toe the line, play it safe, not be all in. And I know y'all will agree with me on this because I've heard y'all talk about this before. It also is she hinted to something that it's another great example as to why you can't drag your spouse in front of your friends and family, because that's what they're going to remember. So then when y'all make up and you're great again, like they're going to have that picture in their mind of all of their bad qualities because they don't know them. So they're going to remember all those negative things you said. And now it's to a point, I don't know that I think she's worried about bringing him around her mom because of how bad she was dressed.
I picked up on that on this last batch of episodes.
Yes.
But, okay, so I'm about to say something real shady, and I want to know your thoughts. We're going through this right now with people in our orbit where they're going through something very deep. And everybody, the husband and the wife, are coming to us on separate occasions and telling us different sides, right? And I was saying to my mom the other day, I said, what's funny is they don't understand. I actually don't give a fuck who's right or wrong. I'm not rooting for either one of you. I'm rooting for your marriage.
Yes.
It really it's not to me about who's right or wrong. I don't care. The reason why you all are unable to get to some common ground is because you care. Yeah. Nobody cares about the health of your marriage. Everybody cares about how I'm made to feel. Winning and individually. And I think that I would argue, and this is so shady. I will argue if her mother feels that way, her mother's not married. Because as a married person, think about how you give advice. You ain't telling your girlfriends, leave them. Get out of that. Don't do that. You're saying, all right, now, let's really unpack this. Let's talk about this. And if I got to be around him and he did some dog shit, marriage is long. Life is long. We all make ill decisions, right? So it's not lost on me that it could be me. It could be me being a person hurting and doing some things, right? If you're 46, mommy got to be 66. At 66 years of age, she don't know what it's like to be in a relationship with a man and not understand the dynamics and not be feeling something enough to know she could be in his presence and not be rude and disrespectful or have something smart to say. But her mom is younger than that.
Is she?
Yeah, because her mom had her in her teens. So her mom is very young, actually.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is, how would you not understand that? Yeah. Your daughter is grown. She's successful. She got to this place. If she decides she want to curse that motherfucker out on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday they just fine and we all gonna eat dinner together, you think I'm gonna come and sit at the table and curse him out too?
But here's the thing about what you're saying, babe. What the onus for that is not on the family member, right? You are in the trenches with your husband.
Yes.
You are in the therapy sessions with your husband, right? So you know how to speak forgivingly. You know how to move past things, right? You know the importance of like keeping the issue and not the person the issue. We've learned all of these things, right? You haven't been in therapy with your cousin and your mama and your right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important, like Camille said, to not even open the gate to start filtering all of this negativity towards them, because you can't control how much they have been worked on mentally, emotionally, how regulated they are, how untraumatized they are to even be like, okay, I get what you're saying, but maybe you should have apologized. You don't know. And so that's why it's so important to not even go there to where you're just dumping on your spouse to these people who are never going to make up with your spouse.
Yes.
Right.
Which is the larger thing.
Right.
They're never going to make up with your spouse. And so that's why it's so important, because I picked that up too, Camille, when she started saying like, oh, I just not worried. She was kind of squealing a little bit in her seat. And I said, She done went to this mama and dumped all in this mama's face on this man. And now y'all in a good place, like couples are. That's why I didn't like the dinner. Sean and Nikki was just arguing, and today they're not. That's just called being married. Yes. What are we talking about?
And they're also full adult. Like, these people are almost children in the conversations that they're having with one another. They're having very deep conversations, and really, I think it's lost on us how hard it is for Black people to get to the tops of their professions. Yeah. It's very hard, and it changes you. Yes. And it gives you a shell, and you become curmudgeoned in some ways. And I think that it's hard. That's why I keep, I go back to Ebony K. Williams when she told the young Black women, start meeting your spouse in college, because the older you get and the more you're going to go far. You're going to be successful. You're going to be that girl. You're going to be that guy. And the further you get to that person, the further you get away from here. You know what I mean? Now everything has to be the things. Yeah. Now everything got to look a certain way. It's got to do. It doesn't even matter how it feels. It just has to look a certain way to you and to others. And I think that's what Nikki is experiencing. Yeah. I think her whole entire life, she has done things for it to look a certain way. Yeah. And I think it's made her feel good to be successful, rightfully so. But I think that what she's experiencing is this. I don't even think she knows how to be in a space. I think if they gave her the finest motherfucker alive, she would find a way to wiggle her way out of it.
100%. The whole physicality thing to me is not about Sean. Because who was they supposed to go get? Jalen Hurts? Who were they supposed to go?
Morris B. Chestnut.
and you're right, Camille. It's this thing now where it's not even just this show. It's not even a Nikki thing. It's not even a Sean thing. We get on reality TV, and because we see somebody hit these boxes, they check these boxes. Oh, they playing in their face because he's not 6'5" and making six.
It's only that he's not 6'5", Joe.
What are we talking about? Like, who is he supposed to? Who are they supposed to find for this person who we all think is also successful and great and beautiful? Like, what kind of Adonis were they?
And the best dress. That bitch, damn, she said shade in there.
I love it.
She said shade in that room. I said, yes, Miss Nikki, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she needs her.
But my thing is, I think you're absolutely correct, but I do believe the only reason why nobody likes Sean is because he's not 6'5". I really do believe that.
That's a whole other thing.
Because someone put it really nicely. It was just on Instagram. That was just he doesn't have those stereotypical, or not stereotypical, but it was typical standards of what's masculine. Something like that.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Whether it's how he talks, whatever people have been saying, he doesn't maybe present forwardly as that overly masculine man that what is the standard.
I was just talking about this, and I said it the other day. I'm like, we went through a whole period of time where everything was labeled as toxic masculinity. And now if a man doesn't show up in a prototypical masculinity way, he's sassy, he's soft, he's sweet, he's this, he's that, and the third. And I think it's so, I don't want to use the word that I want to use. I'll just say it
does a disservice.
It's so ignorant. It's just ignorant. Are we adults here yet?
Yeah. Right. So it's those two things, because he's 5'6", and because he doesn't have some of those.
He's 5'6".
Zar, stop.
No, I'm not even trying to be funny. He said it. I shit you not. He's 5'6". He said it on one of the episodes. I'm dead ass.
Do we know how tall she is?
5'4", because she said that. Or 5'5". She said 5'5".
Well, he's taller. Yeah. How about that? What are we
centimeters?
I swear, that was one of the things I said when I went on the show. Just someone taller than me. Because I'm kind of tall. I'm 5'9". And so I'm he could be 5'10". And so as long as he's
Right.
It would be the same thing. I just said taller. So if it's 1 inch, that's all I asked for. But
how about that?
To your point, though, I think, with the dinners and stuff, it's just, it gets a little annoying, the nitpicking, because, multiple reasons. But for one, to your point, it goes back to that, the 20-year-old standards of what being with your person looks like is not what you are concerned about. They don't care that they were sitting a few feet away from each other at the table because there was legs at the table in the way. Like they weren't coming in.
What are we talking about? Like, I don't like it's just so silly. Like, y'all are lost.
I am so glad you brought this up because I put this in my notes. Michelle saying that she did not feel the romance between Nikki and Sean. I thought, and they in that moment should have said, now, why the fuck would you be concerned about the romance I feel with my partner?
Yeah.
It ain't for you to feel.
It's not for you to feel.
It's not for you to feel. And I think that's lost on people too. I feel like Joe and I are not PDA people. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would know that because we vibe so much. But when I tell you we go out and people come up to us all the time, and it's not because we like kissing, tonguing each other down. We're just somewhere sitting, laughing, hooting and hollering, right? With each other. I think that it is, we have this misconception of the touchiness, the this and that. Everybody doesn't show their intimacy and love that way. And I feel like Nikki and Sean, just them being able to hold space with one another, be close, be in proximity to one another without rolling their eyes. And she was sitting her legs were towards him. So it's like those are small indications that they are, the romance being palpable to you means absolutely nothing.
It means zero. And I think everybody on this session today, including producer Mike, that y'all cannot see on the screen, can attest to the fact that no one can tell you about your relationship but you and your spouse. No one can come to me and tell me, you and Zara, I don't know if y'all got enough romance or if y'all got enough. Like, how can anyone sit in front of somebody's face and just be like, y'all don't really have it like that? You know what I mean? And to the contrary of what the couple is saying. We can all have opinions, right? We can all have opinions. But if Camille and Thomas come to me and they both say, I think we're doing great right now, who am I to be like, I don't think y'all are?
Yeah,
what are we doing? Like,
right. How you gonna tell me? And that's where
how did you feel about that?
That's where I really hope the TV side of me wants to think. I really hope that's like they've been instructed to question what each other is saying. Because it's no way. Like, it's no way you could feel that.
That's wild.
But again, on the other hand, that's the social media world too. Like, that's the gauge of a good relationship is are you guys all over each other? And if not, then you can't be like feeling each other. You know what I mean? It's just that, like, what looks good, like what looks, it's that social media relationships is like just the lovey-dovey, the sweet stuff, the passion. So then people start thinking that's what relationships are supposed to be all the time, or else y'all can't possibly like each other. So it could be either. It really could. But I will say I was going to say, like, you know, I'm also agreeing that I don't like the little digs that, like, oh, they're actually doing well today or whatever, when really and that came from Paul, which I didn't love. And so I was just like, why is there this thing that's following them now, that because they had some explosive stuff in the beginning, which the other couples don't even know? Because again, being on the show, you don't know what everyone's talking about until you watch it yourself. So they couldn't possibly know that their relationship was even that bad because they haven't seen anything. So it's just this idea that they're carrying along with them. And it's like, to be honest, I think it's actually refreshing to see some educated people arguing, because then it's like,
yes,
I could not agree more.
It's actually something to it, instead of, like, not saying other people aren't intelligent, but like when you see people arguing about the silliest shit on this show, that's where it's like, I would rather them, debate each other down than people just arguing about just stupid shit, and they're playing into this role that they think matters in a relationship when it doesn't have anything. Nikki and Sean have talked about stuff leaps and bounds beyond what some of the other couples have even scratched the surface on. And so and we see it, like, Adam and Marissa were vibing this whole time, and the first time they talked about anything below the surface level, they started crumbling. So which side would you which side of the coin would you rather be on?
He literally tried to drown himself when she asked him, well, I thought he was going to introduce me to his
he jumped in. He
tried to drown. He would rather drown than introduce you to his family. That don't make you feel no kind of way.
Right.
That don't, like, spark, like, wait a minute, why are we not talking about this?
Exactly.
I want to know, what are your thoughts on, so people are disappointed in Nikki for having any kind of physical relationship with Sean. What are your thoughts about that?
That's what I'm not gonna be able to buy into the hype. I'm not gonna be able to. If she was feeling it, what's the other? Is this like projection from people that watch the show of like what they want their characters to do because they're trying to like live through them, or
Mm-hmm.
they want
Oh,
to
with Sims.
like, yeah, it's yes, The Sims, to like justify like how they're feeling or how they would move in a situation, realizing that that would be a terrible way to move. And so they're like living through these people of like what they would have wanted them to do. Even that, I can relate to that. Like even still now I'm getting comments on my page of like, how could I possibly be cool with David and Madison? Like y'all want me to hate these people so bad. Like it's crazy. And so that's the thing that's like bothers me. It's this crazy projection of like what someone should be doing. And people feel so passionately about it. It's insane. And
Also, David
so
is very charismatic. It's like kind of hard.
yeah,
Like he makes it hard not to like.
Again, going back to the like, I don't know them like that. I don't know you like that. Like we
Right.
all met at the same time, and I married this man I don't know 4 weeks ago. So why am I going to have smoke for these people that I don't
I'm
know?
actually doing something right now.
Yeah, like I don't have nothing to do with that, you know? And so
Right. I'm occupied, I promise.
Right.
yeah. And so it's that same kind of thing. Like people are really passionately feeling this way that she did herself a disservice. It's still speaking in that narrative that they're like on completely different levels, and I don't see that. And so I think
I don't see that either.
He came out singing Negro spirituals.
First of all,
everybody know Frankie Beverly and Mays is a
he
spiritual
was
spirit.
walking on yeah, he got
we are one. Who does that?
Mike, can we see the picture of listen?
Why would
you can see the pure joy.
So they're saying that he did it on purpose. Like he came out Peter Pan swinging. Because
he's in his house with his wife and they're hunching. They doing something. I don't know what they doing, but they're enjoying each other. And this is my thing. This was my thing about Belle Jolie as well, right? Like to your point about people wanting to control you guys as Sims.
Yeah.
She is in a process where she's committed to try with her husband. Same thing with Belle Jolie, right? And so part of that looks like them kissing in the shadows, always in the black and white with the nanny camera, right? Because they're obviously having a vibe. They're obviously enjoying each other's presence when they're not on camera and when they're not talking to different prompts and doing all these things, which kind of lends to Sean's point of like, you must be holding back because apparently when we're with each other, we're in each other's faces.
Right.
And we see that.
And you can see it's palpable on their dates. They did the wine date. You know what I mean? I felt like they were having a good time. I'm like, watch, they did the candles. I'm like, this is fun.
Exactly.
They clearly like each other. And to Camille's point of like, this is a narrative that you guys are creating on social media. Mm-hmm. That she doesn't like him and they playing in her face and all that. And I'm like, do Nikki know that?
Right. Exactly. And they're not, I think maybe we've just gotten too conditioned for people like crashing and burning on Married at First Sight that people aren't used to like, okay, someone can start with some fire and then do okay afterwards. Like maybe that's what we're not used to seeing enough. But yeah, people aren't laying off of them enough for me. And I think maybe at this point it's just discourse, but I like what I'm seeing. And I think that we all know Nikki by now that if she doesn't want to do something, she's not going to.
She's not going to do
it.
It's her. She's going to speak on it. So I think that, if she's not making a big deal out of it, why are we? Because she doesn't seem to not make a big deal out of it if something rubs her the wrong way.
But also, that's just marriage in life. Mm-hmm. That's not even a Married at First Sight thing. Your marriage goes through ebbs and flows, goes through periods in time. The couple that Joe and Zar was in 2024 is far and away the couple that they are in 2026. And that was just 2 years ago. Right? So the idea that you would dare challenge me, if I tell you what's going on with my marriage, you would challenge me to tell, well, I don't actually think that y'all are doing as good as you say y'all are. It's just so asinine.
It's asinine, and then it's lost on people that marriage is a journey. It's
Right.
not these snapshots
Yes.
that you guys get to see. Like you said, y'all just coming in for dinner. Y'all don't actually know
Right.
what we've been talking about all week or
Right.
whatever the case may
Or,
be, right?
or how, but also going back to this theme of like, when you are venting to your friends and family, they're only catching the negativity. So they
Yeah.
don't see when y'all lovey-dovey and y'all on each other's face and y'all can't get enough of each other 9 out of 10 days or whatever, right? They don't see that. And so then they're only speaking from a perspective of hearing about your last argument.
Yes.
But that's the performance that we're seeing this season. I think to call Mecca performative, I think all of them are doing it a bit, right? Like, and I think that's natural. I think it's hard. It would be hard not to be, right? Given the experience. But I do believe that there's this thing where we forget that we're also human. Them arguing to me I honestly was kind of like, get it out. Argue.
Right.
Me and Joe argue so bad, Camille. This is the truth. We argue so bad for years. It's not that we don't argue now. It's just so different.
Yeah.
It is. Let me tell you something. If Zar take a certain tone with me today, I am crushed about it. Right. And like she said, we used to really be in the mud, right? But we're so far removed from it that if she even sounds annoyed, I'm like, why are you speaking to me like that? And I genuinely am like, because we're just so far removed from it. And so it's like, to your point of like the arc of relationship and marriage, it can be one thing one day, and then through work and commitment and relationship, it can be a completely different thing. I used to, if she would give it to me, I would give it back, right? If she gives it to me now, I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like,
he's like, what's wrong with you?
Please.
Or the other day, he was like, did you eat?
I do not want to.
I was like, I'm really tired. I've been working a lot at work. It's hard for me to do this. So, like, but it really is sometimes something. And I think what's lost is that it has to look, like we spoke about earlier, it has to look a certain way outwardly to other people. I think it's so important to have discourse. I think it's so important to disagree with one another. I think it's so important to figure out how you argue. Felipe kind of spoke to that in the last couple episodes where he said they've been arguing, so they know how to solve things with one another.
Right.
You all just like, oh no, Cameron and Michelle. Oh, it's so perfect. It's so this is so that. And you guys she'll want to have something like that. And it's like, no, I want to be in a space where I feel like I could speak freely. And I feel like I can have an uncomfortable conversation, and we can, and you don't take my discomfort and create it some big old thing for you. Right. It's just mine. And I want to be able to speak and live and be a whole person.
Right.
And I think that that's what's missed, right? Like, I think everybody's operating in the representative here in an effort to be, it's F1. Everybody just wants to be in the first spot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we just are just racing cars. Like, we just doing laps. And in this lap, I'm in the lead. And next lap, you're in the lead. And it's like, no, that's not how marriage works. And I think that's where I like Nikki and Sean. I like that they have this course. I like that it's been uncomfortable for them and that they've been able to see what it looks like to overcome it.
Completely.
To the point where he could sing Negro spirituals. You know what I mean? To that point. But I thought that their group therapy where Paul said that what we need to be focused on is community and romance was very important, because she has to introduce people to, because this feeling of shame is not because of what Sean has said to you. It's because of how he looks, and you will not get me to believe otherwise.
Yeah. It's a perception thing, how he's going to be perceived by others. And because he doesn't fit this mold.
Exactly. Or what they think Nikki should be dating, which is like, come on, which we all saw it at the wedding. Everybody was like, oh, girl. Yeah. We all saw it. Let's talk about Felipe and Tori, because Felipe is going to talk about a self-sabotager.
Oh, my gosh. Is that what
She said, oh, my God.
He's one that, I'm sorry, I don't even know if I can consider him a self-sabotager. Like, how I'm trying to figure out if Mecca is doing that, or if he's just like really underdeveloped. Felipe, to me, is fuckboy. And I can't.
I completely agree. 100%.
He did say this. He said this 100 times.
Yes. And I think he is showing himself to be who we all thought he was going to be on episode 1. And I think he like surprised people after the wedding and like, oh, great, and he's all in, and he's taking this serious. I think who he is now is who I thought he was
Who
going to
he
be
is.
first saw him. Yeah.
100%.
And it was kind of one of those like, why is he getting casted and stuff like that?
Yep.
And I think that's who he's shown himself to be, and it's insane to me. And I think it is so. First of all, I feel like Tori is handling it so well, way better than I would be, and I just think that
Me
he
too.
is.
I'd have got a belt by now. I'd have beat his ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And I bet you he would have liked it. He would have liked it and ship shape. Oh, okay, we good. Good. Don't play
Yeah.
with me. I'm getting a belt.
Yeah. He is so representative of, unfortunately, what I think a lot of guys are like currently in the dating.
Wow.
Just in a, but he's just being more vocal and more honest about it. But I think when it comes to that fear of commitment, like I think him and Cameron's fears of commitment is totally different. And I think that Felipe is an honest person. I don't think he's hiding anything. And I think what he's saying is just completely true. Like he just likes fucking around. I really don't know why he did this. He said he was lonely, but there's no way.
I almost think they reached out to him.
I wouldn't be surprised if I heard that.
Have 100%.
Because they also said that he missed. Paul was like, you missed.
Oh, right.
Paul been giving us a little bit of nuggets.
Yeah.
And I think it's to let us know that I wouldn't have picked you. I think he finds him to be unserious.
Yeah.
Because he does tell us that he missed 2 interviews with Paul and had to reschedule them both. That to me says you're unserious. That's not he said, and you didn't reschedule because of work. You rescheduled them because you were
outside. Yeah.
That was like saying that to me was alluding to the fact that he was going to be unserious.
And I do believe that was a little bit of a warning shot, like this. I didn't pick him.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Type thing, like this is a higher power. Because obviously some suit has final say. We all can acknowledge that. But
Yes.
I do believe that he was letting us know that. But I felt like in that moment right there, before they even introduced him to Tori, it was a red flag.
What are these things with these dogs? You let me know. Tori got this dog, and she said, "I'm concerned you're not going to be able to take care of my dog and get
now that she lost me on that.
She completely. Now I was rocking with you, Tori, but I'm so tired of these goddamn dogs. It's not even put that dog in the house, like a boarding house or something like that, for the 8 weeks. What are we doing?
I know. It also was funny to me because I'm like, damn, Felipe is in the dirt right now. Like she doesn't even believe he could take care of her dog. Like that is. She is calling him a man-child and nothing else, which again kind of gives context to it. Like I think it's giving like 20-year-old mentally and like the lifestyle he lives. Like literally none of it is pointing to like for marriage. Yeah, exactly. So I just took that as another drop in the bucket in terms of solidifying just her little confidence she has in him overall. But yeah, the people in the dog, I'm not a dog person, so it's hard for me to relate to the dogs being a big.
Girl, how you been walking that dog all this time? You want him to walk the dog. How you been walking the dog all this time?
Yeah,
make it make sense.
Yeah, there was that thing last season too when one of the wives wanted the husband to like love the dog, like or think about feeding the dog first, and like all that stuff. Like it was his dog.
Oh my God, he was like, "Girl, it's a dog."
Yeah, I put on my application like I would prefer someone with no pets, but
they make it their whole. It's like being a vegan. It becomes their whole personality.
It's their identity.
It's their identity now. Like it's like, please spare me. Like you know what I mean? Like dogs are cool.
Yeah,
but I don't think you're a better person because you have a dog. Actually, on the contrary, I think the other way around. But that's not the point.
And I think if you dealing with Felipe, you have bigger fish to fry.
Period.
Whether or not he can walk your dog.
100.
Now, she says something. I'm glad. Tori and Felipe have a session with Paul, and in the session, she mentions the emotional manipulation that she feels like is happening with Felipe. And one of my favorite things Paul did was push back on the use of that phrase. I think that is so important to do, which we try to do a lot. Like, y'all are overusing a lot of these
A lot of the
terms.
words.
Do you feel like there is some emotional something that Felipe may be doing to kind of sway Tori? I don't even know what he's saying is getting her. I don't know. I don't.
I think more than anything, um I think it was good that they kind of pushed back and broke it down a little bit but I don't even know that he's giving like mixed messages. I think he's like who he is just it's like the proof is in the pudding, you know? But I
Yes.
see what she means by like, you know, when he's at home, he seems all about her, but then he's saying this stuff in the group. But I don't know that he's like telling her otherwise at home, like, because someone can act interested and still be a hoe. So it's like I don't think he's like telling her I only want to be with you. I think he's showing up and kind of like lovey-dovey at home, but I don't see him being the type that's saying something different. You know, he might be omitting the fact to her at home that he wants to sleep with a bunch of girls, but I don't think he's telling her at home it's only you and I'm really ready to be married and all of that. Like,
But Camille, I don't even think he's omitting. The thing that shocks me about Felipe is I feel like he is showing up as these are with his cards on the table. Zar said something a while ago about listening to men when depending on how aesthetically pleasing they are, how much you actually take in. Felipe been saying a lot of fuckboy shit from the very beginning.
Very true.
I just don't even, but I just think that like, are you not hearing? Because I just, even when we got past that first week and we found out he was late and all of these other things from production. Even then, like he was saying stuff to me that was just like, that sounds odd. Oh, that's what it was. He kept talking about how like he was like cheating was haunting him. And it's like,
yes,
that's not.
But the cheating that he said he never did.
Right.
The thing for me is like, I think people are so hell bent on not wanting to be like a bad person. They think they're going to sit in your face and lie about it. I don't think it's a big deal. Like it almost makes me cringe sometimes when I'm watching these shows and people think it's a bad thing that people have done bad things. I'm like, what world do you live in where people don't do fucked up shit?
Yeah.
And we all have done something that we're not proud of. So for me, it's like, why shame someone?
Yeah.
I would rather you tell me the truth about it than try to pretend like, oh, I forgot. And then she had to remind me. Now, given we've seen him literally inebriated every episode, he may genuinely have forgotten. But he may have
forgotten. Let me tell you, that man didn't have a sober segment in this last batch of episodes.
Literally.
I don't know what he was on.
Eyes bloodshot, all of that.
Oh the whole time.
But they also should not allow people to drink.
Yeah. But it makes for good TV. Because then they'll just be...
It sure do.
But I think that Tori, again, I think Tori and Belle Jolie are by far like my two favorites on the show. And I think that Tori is also what she's been doing up until the last couple weeks where Felipe has given her no other option. I think she's also trying to be like lean into it. So I also don't think that she's someone who's like blind or oblivious or stupid. I think she's probably been picking up on the red flag stuff that he's been saying too.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
She would have had to have been.
To it, yeah. Still trying to lean into it until he's given her no other option. And now you embarrassing the table and saying all this stuff to this group and on national TV. And so I think she's been handling it well, but yeah, I don't really know where they go from here.
How do you feel about at the group dinner, everybody comes at Felipe and says, you actually do want to be cheating. You actually want to be with the bitches and the hoes. And you out here trying to play in Tori's face, whatever the case may be. And Tori sat here and he's saying mother jumping thing. When they get out of the group dinner, he speaks to that like, you could have like had my back a little bit. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I would expect from my partner and my wife. What were your thoughts on that?
First of all, I was hollering when he said that, and she
Literally, like,
speak. She didn't even defend him in the moment.
Even after
At
that,
all.
even after saying like, and there was no cutting. That was not edited.
Oh yeah, that was like a raw, like, yeah.
She was like,
Yeah, no comment. Because, and that's the thing, I do believe there's this, like how Beljolie was coming on behind Mecca and like, you know, he's not performative. This is just who he is, blah, blah, blah. And but something like that, how do you defend that? How do you defend that?
Right.
Like,
Right.
literally, because at this point, that is embarrassing to me as a person. Because again, that's a conversation that you and I could have. And another thing that just really doesn't need to be said to a bunch of people and on TV. And so that's
Right.
kind of, that's embarrassing. And so what am I going to say? No, guys, I can't think of the words that I would say that would defend him. And so I see, you know, Felipe is like, oh, we've had a good, you know, time since then, and I'm feeling committed now. But in real Married at First Sight land, that probably literally was 2 days ago that he was saying all that stuff, like in their real life.
like, bro, it's been 40 years.
So also in an arena where the producers are telling us to push back at people, you know, I'm assuming that's what's going on. Ain't no way on Wednesday you was saying you want to sleep with all the hoes, and now it's Friday and you want to be with Tori, and you know you want to be with Tori and you want to be married. So like it would be hard as, you know, Tori to defend that, because she's probably like, yeah, y'all are right. You know, 2 days ago, he like, what do you say to that? And we see a little bit on the preview too, where Felipe is, you know, getting annoyed that Tori's worried about other people's perception. But I feel like and I normally agree with that. Like, who cares what other people think? But this is such a unique instance. And again, we've never seen someone on Married at First Sight talking like this, I think. And that's really
in front of everyone.
Yes,
right.
Is really,
because you did it there, you have to fix it there.
Right. Yeah. And that is really hard to defend. And yeah, that is an instance where I do actually care about other people's perception, because again, that I don't know, it's really hard to not internalize that. And that's why I feel like Tori's doing the best she can with that, because it's not a her problem at all, clearly. So I'm glad she knows
it's not a her problem.
Yeah. And so how do you bounce back from that in a group setting? Like, yeah, I don't really care what these people think, but it still was embarrassing. Like, that was very embarrassing.
But also, it doesn't, Tori, but that's what I was saying about Beljolie too. Neither, you brought up both of them, Beljolie and Tori. Neither one of them give pretentious, like, liar to me. And so I believe that it was Beljolie's truth for her to stand up for Mecca and say, well, when he treats me, this is how I feel, right? Yeah. And I believe that the reason why Tori didn't do it is for the same reason. I don't feel like that.
That was good.
So why would I stand up?
Yeah, that was good.
That was such a point.
Promote something that's not authentic to my experience.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
Because Tori's like, what am I going to defend? That shit was That was things you could have said to me as like, and talking about our marriage in that way. That's like, yeah, the hell. So that is such.
Are we gonna talk about how delicious it was when Sean lit into Adam?
It was wonderful.
Can I tell you my theory about Adam?
Yes.
We have not met Adam's family, right? So I told Joe, Adam has very mixed features to me, okay? And I actually believe that I don't know, I know white people, Joe and I have gone to PWIs, we have been the only Black people in our spaces for a very long time. I don't know white people who speak like that, okay?
Yeah.
Which is so funny because 10 minutes later, Sean is saying, do your parents speak like you?
What was crazy?
Wasn't that crazy? And I literally said it to Joe. And what was crazy about it, this is my theory. I think he might be a little mixed, okay? And he might live in a world that's predominantly white, okay? And this is what he think whiteness is. Ripping it on jet ski. I've never heard in my life, we lived in LA. I've never heard anybody say ripping it. I've never heard he's
heavy on the beach bro stuff.
It's
like,
very
heavy.
And that feels performative to me, to the point where I think this might be Imitation of Life. That's an old school movie, y'all better look it up. Basically was a woman dark like me, had a baby that looked like Camille, and in that time nobody could tell that she wasn't, or that she was a Black woman actually, and she ended up marrying a white man and lived her life. It's called Imitation of Life, and it's giving that to me.
That is so
That's
interesting. That is such a hot take. I literally would have never
it's
thought.
very hot. Piping hot. But that's really what I'm thinking because who is this person he's created? Like,
It wouldn't
When I-
surprise me.
When I tell y'all, I ate every little bit of that up and all the crumbs because
delicious.
he was not wrong. And that was another moment that
We are one.
oh, sorry. That was another moment that completely went over everyone's heads at that table because
Yeah.
they only took it as an attack. And like,
Right.
I've never seen something, like you said, Zar, so delicious on TV. Just because, again, I'm loving this season because it's truly getting past it doesn't feel like just TV. Like they're getting
Right.
unpacking shit, they are exposing shit. And that was it flustered Adam so bad because he took it straight to like he just took it as a dig.
Let's do an IQ test.
Because it went over his
And
head.
then when
That's why.
Sean said, "No, we're talking about EQ," I said, "Oh,
Ew. It
delicious."
it ate him up so bad to the point he couldn't wait for his moment to when they
Oh, of
circled.
course. Because then he started shooting at everybody. Everybody started taking straight hits.
And when it got back to Nikki and Sean, Adam was like, his vein was popping out of his neck. Like, I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
y'all, like, how are you're 10, y'all
Yep.
just like, and then in the OTF too, and he's like almost yelling. And like,
I know.
Yeah, yes.
I'm like, oh, the armor is cracked.
It's cracked.
Like, because how
Yes.
dare someone expose Adam for not being, for being something other than
Yes.
the god.
And Marcus just ushered himself right on in.
Right.
He said, "You know what? I'm done with this act. Let me bring my other guy
I'm not
out.
gonna be this guy no more.
I'm not gonna be him no more."
Oh my
You man,
god!
but he was absolutely correct. Sean was spot on. And I had to go back. We had an episode called Don't Disrespect the Vibe because we said vibe so much in the episode, right? And it got me to thinking. I was saying vibe because I genuinely didn't have another word. And I really was like, he's absolutely correct. I didn't have another word to express the emotion. And then when we're having these group conversations with Adam and Marissa, neither one of them are saying anything.
Right.
Mhm.
Except for ripping it, the vibe, and full sending it. Which are things I've never heard in actual use in conversation. I've never heard anybody speak like this.
Literally.
But do y'all notice that Marissa now is like taking on the Adam cloak? And so she'll be talking about something and she'll just like, yeah, I was just gonna full send it. I thought you were gonna like
yes.
I'm like, what is happening?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And so it was very spot on. And again, it was if we had seen some things to kind of refute that, okay, but we haven't seen much besides surface level with Adam and Marissa, and especially something emotional and something deep and something vulnerable with Adam. We have not seen it. So I need someone to point out where Sean was wrong. And
right.
That was crazy. Sean's delivery
nobody can.
A little pretentious, and so
always.
But
the delivery was so off. However, was it? It was like it was like
Sean.
what?
It was Sean.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like it was so. Because then when he started it, I was like, wait, what is he about to say? Like, but to preface it, like, I think you're a good person.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, you cool and all, but
yeah.
I felt like the way he approaches things, and this is where Sean can get a bad rap, I feel like, doesn't feel as if he's trying to build a community with these people.
Yeah.
And I think that is also a part of Adam's feelings because it almost can feel like a stranger is talking to you about you. Yeah. When you're going through an intimate process with one, all of y'all are going through the same process and everything like that. But I do feel like, despite all of that, I was sitting there like, oh, Sean, more. Why haven't we seen this more? But that says to me they've been trying to be respectful of other people's relationships, and it's not been reciprocated.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I think that too.
And I think he was just like, you know what? Y'all think y'all can say anything about us? I have notes.
And they have been, and it's been unprompted too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
a couple episodes ago, people was just shooting at Sean and Nikki when Sean and Nikki were just talking positively about each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'd have been in there with my guns up too. Okay, this is what we doing. We shooting. Everybody shooting at the table, right? I got guns too. We all shooting.
We have to stop talking about guns.
I know.
But
That's what my sister, when we were texting during the episode, I was like, one thing Sean gonna do is push some buttons and then move on
Yes.
quick. Because he was like,
yeah.
Adam was like, this and that, like, I've been doing this, and, you know, I don't think that's true. And Sean was like, okay, next. You know, like, he said what he had to say.
He didn't even give him another minute.
No, he like read it built real quick and then was ready to go. Okay, who's the next couple? Like,
no, really.
And Adam was pissed he couldn't get no get back, but he also was pissed that he couldn't intellectually spar with Sean.
Oh,
and I think that
made him more upset.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then
Because
did you feel? No, go ahead.
No,
You feel Adam.
Yeah, I just feel like he's been, you know, playing this character and, you know, been trying to ride the wave up here and just coast through without having to take it anywhere. And someone called him to the carpet and he's not equipped to do that. And so it highlighted that, and it brought out this whatever insecurity he's masking with all his outlandish stuff. This is lurking under there. And Sean found a way to start to tap
undress him.
Undress. Exactly.
Did they allude to him being an alcoholic, Adam?
No, but it's so funny you bring that up because I saw that somewhere. I've seen two takes on Adam. One was OCD, and not in a way that, you know, when you think OCD, you think like flipping the light switch 3 times and got to do this and that. But it like by the definition, it's just obsessing over something, and, you know, so that like lifestyle he's trying to live and all of that. It was a girl, I think a previous Married at First Sight girl was on a podcast and was saying that she's like, I'm not diagnosing anyone, but I dated someone really like him and he ultimately got diagnosed with OCD. So that's an interesting concept. The other one was that, and this is not me spreading rumors, this is literally just what I've heard elsewhere, but that, yes, that like he had an alcohol problem and has replaced, or like an addictive personality, and he's replaced the alcohol with this extreme sports.
Oh, I see.
Do you watch
I can see that.
Do you watch Couples Therapy on Paramount Plus?
No,
okay, it's very good.
I've heard it's good.
Dr. Orner is amazing. One of the couples that they have is a man, he's a recovering alcoholic. And he gets frustrated when his wife does things out of order. So if he feels like he's not included in something, they're not having certain conversations, it sends him into a spiral. When at first listening to him, I didn't know that he was a recovering addict. I'm like, damn, like he's so rigid, like everything got to be his way. He the breadwinner, whatever the case may be. Come to find out, it's because this is how he works his steps. Like it has to be a certain way for him to feel comfortable to be in his sobriety. Not to say that this is Adam's thing. It just, it felt like that is why I was asking, are they, did he say something to that? Because I felt like I missed it and everybody's kind of running with it. Like, oh, he was an alcoholic. The point is he's extra. The point I'm trying to get at, I'm saying all that to say he is extra, and him bringing up the ex is a weapon. It's a tool to make Marissa feel a certain way about how she shows up. And it's like, I don't know if you play pickleball, it's nothing about it requires you to be there for 3 to 5 hours.
Well, also this if you were so obsessed with your ex, then go be with her. I don't like that too. That's dirty work too, to sit here and sit in front of somebody who they paired you with, who in a process that you signed up for, to be constantly talking about how great your fucking ex was.
Exactly. And I'm hoping it's just not something they show, but that would have been the first question. Like, why didn't y'all work out then? Or why are you not with her? Like, that was the first comeback. And to that point, so one thing I was thinking about is on this show, a lot of people do learn about themselves. And you hear a lot of people say, I didn't think this would, you know, maybe Nikki would take from this. Like, I didn't think height was an important marker, but now I know it is. Or even like a personality thing. I didn't think I needed this, but this taught me that I really do. The thing that's bothering me about Adam is because he's basing this thing off his ex, you knew that is something you really want, because that's your explanation to everyone. It's just something I know I can't do without. So I know for a fact he chose to not say that during the interview process, and that's what's kind of deceptive to me, because if now this is your whole story and this matters so much to you, there's no way you weren't thinking about that when they asked you what about her activity level. If he said anything outside of I need her to
Serena
work
Williams
a week on the pickleball court,
Right.
that's choice. And so that's he's like someone that's bothering me a little bit, is because it's so important to him and it's such an obscure thing to be so important that like, that's not something he just discovered. He really needs
1,000%. And I think when they perseverate on these things, whatever it is, if it's their height, the way the person looks, whether or not they can play pickleball for 17 hours, I think that when they're doing that, it's in an attempt to get out of it. I don't think that you actually give a damn. I genuinely don't. I think that we all have been in relationship and lived full lives. I genuinely don't believe that that person that you're dealing with needs to be as active as you. I think that there is a part of you deep down that does not like this woman as much as you want everybody else to believe. And the only way that you had to find something, and that's why it feels obscure to you, Camille, because he had to find something. It couldn't be the way she looked. We know that you think she's attractive. Look at how y'all been all over each other, right? She's chill. She's got a good vibe. Y'all vibe with one another most times and everything like that. So it has to be something as obscure as not, oh, she doesn't want to work out 3 to 5 days a week or do this. It has to be that, because when I try to wiggle my way out of this, I need to have something that everybody has seen she does not want to do. She does not have, she does not possess, she'll never get there. So then I can absolve myself of the responsibility of leaving this relationship.
Yeah, he's looking for it now.
And you know what? That's a great point, because one other note I had on Adam is it starts to turn into a red flag to me when someone says, oh, I've been ready to be married since I was 18. I don't remember how old he is.
What?
I don't know how old he is now, but it's no way, because that's it takes an intentionality piece. Like that's what most people are searching for, is someone with intention, someone who really is seeking something out. But if you've been wanting to be married and searching for that since, like, I don't know, let's say 14 years ago or something like that. Again, I don't know his age. You're the problem. Because
and you've been full sending everything else you find a way to commit to.
Right.
You commit to pickleball 27 hours a day.
Right.
You know what I mean? You commit to doing all these other things and you can't find a way to commit to someone. It is you.
Right.
It's 100%. How he presents to be does not also align with how he lives at home and what that house was looking like. That's the only other
that's a fact and not an opinion.
Like
that, and
the perfection he expects doesn't align.
Yeah.
So,
and that's why Marissa will never be a bitch like me, because the way Marissa and Beljolie, it would have been, why did I get married in that bitch? He'd have got up and choked me, because I'd have been letting go and letting have. Let me tell you something. You need to get down there and scrub them motherfucking baseboards before you tell me. That's the problem. You've been out in them streets too long. Them baseboards look a mess. Okay? I saw that bathroom. Don't let me come out here and tell these people how you don't clean your toilets. You know what I mean? It's not enough of reciprocating. Everybody's sitting at the table looking so fucking shocked that these people are saying these things. I'm sorry, y'all, and I hate to go back to Mecca and Beljolie. He would have sat up in my face in 30-day-old braids and told me he didn't think I was cute.
Oh my God.
But you know what it is too about this whole situation with Adam? That's a part of his peacocking and how Dr. Pat said he got to do it loud. The baseboards is not clean because
nobody sees that.
It's low on the priority list because it's
very
not.
Wow.
Yep.
Joe, you're not cooking today.
Yeah, he been dropping some gems.
It might be you, Camille. It might be you. Okay. I want to, for real. They did do something cute. I did think that their date on the hot tub boat was really cute.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't seem quite sanitary to me for some reason. I don't know. The whole time I'm asking Joe, I'm like, doesn't this seem a little unsanitary? Like, however, I think it's a very cool thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It will be one of those things that I would do because you wanted to do it, not because that's on my list of things to do.
thought it was very cute. The only thing, it still went back somehow to a push-up competition, but I'm gonna hope
Right.
maybe that was a producer thing too. I don't know, because again, that we fresh off the heels of
Down
talking
to
about.
telling you all to do push-ups.
That sound like an Adam thing to me.
I mean, or maybe I don't know. Like they'll hint things, and so I guess if you want, you could be like, "No, I'm not doing that." But I don't know why in my head I could see them like, "Well, what if you do?" I don't know. Just lobbed it up. Oh,
Yeah.
my last piece too about the jacuzzi date. And again, I'm not trying to spread no rumors about that man, but where the alcohol thing a little bit is, did y'all see when he shotgunned that water?
Yes.
It was gone in 3 seconds, and I'm not like a beer drinker. I've actually never shotgun anything, but my brother went to Ohio State, and he had this
Oh,
apartment. He was
Jesus.
in Chicago, literally, but like 20 years old, and him and his roommates, like they would have like shotgun competitions, and they kept this whiteboard on their apartment, like who could do it the fastest, and like the winner over time, the date that they did it. So it was like super funny, typical, young.
Yes, young
dude.
man stuff.
When I tell you, I've seen a lot of shotguns competitions in my days, and that was a lot. Like
She said,
how
Alarming.
fast he was able to take that down. So it just goes back to he was a drinker at some point, and maybe not
Yeah.
and
alcohol.
I don't want him to get back to that. Like, I don't even like the
Yeah.
shotgun thing because I don't want him to, like, is he feeling, you know what? I don't want to put this on him, but like, is he feeling like this process is stressing me out? I need a drink. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm thinking about those theories differently now because I'm just connecting.
we just throwing some.
And I didn't think about it. I didn't see it when we were watching the theories about how him just being obsessive and it could have moved from the alcohol to that. Now it just, all of that stuff just makes so
You
much more sense.
have to watch couples therapy. When I
Okay.
tell you, Dr. Orna is so damn good. When she got down to the fact that he was recovering, I said, she was like, this all makes sense.
Mm.
Then she started to like really get them and help them out. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I think, and not to put that on him, but
Yeah, and that's why I like this and being able to talk like this, and I don't think there's enough conversation around it because it does help bring a human aspect to these shows. Because then otherwise it's just The Sims to people, and it's
The
so
Sims,
easy
yeah.
to be like, this person is trash, all this and
Yeah.
that. Versus if you take a second to understand why they might be, and it could go all the way down from friendships, people you don't even know, even to your relationship. If you can start take a second and figure out why someone might say the things they're saying or act the way they are or any of that, and take yourself out of it and see that a lot of it has to do with them, it just allows you to have grace and brings a human side to it. So it really ain't even shit talking at the end of the day. It's really trying to extend grace and give people a little bit of an explanation.
we're just trying to give him some room to understand him because he is so contrived.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost like somebody created him, or he created, to Sean's point, this persona, and we're getting this bro that it's gotta be deeper than this. And then why lose the alcohol and not the bro?
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's go on ahead and be sober from them both.
Right.
But I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts on Marissa and Adam? Do you think that this is something that could have some longevity or move past this 8-week period?
It will take some serious work again on Adam's side. I think Marissa's kind of doing the best that she can with what she got, kind of thing. I think she could be pushing the go a little deeper, but I think she's already seen what that can be met with, or like she's not having,
because he was about to die about it. So.
Yeah, I think that she hasn't been given any kind of space where she feels like she can start to take things a little deeper. So I think at this point she might just be coasting a little bit. I really think Adam would need to do a lot of work because I think that this is who he is, and I kind of think the extreme sportsman thing is really who he is, and I think there's really like something going on there. I don't even know if it's like, I see your point 100% as like a push away tactic, but I don't know. I'm torn between that and he actually does really like her and would want to be with her, but he just got a lot going on, like to
Mentally.
act.
I
And
think
so,
I think he physically likes her. I think for this purposes of I think sometimes men encounter women and we see it from, our purview, and they encounter a woman and they like the utility of a woman. I don't think he likes her as a human. I
oh
think
yeah,
he likes her as the utility of what a woman represents.
that's
And
a good.
that's why he speaks in that way, that you have to be doing this. Because
Yes.
he doesn't see you as a human being who has thoughts and feelings and
He likes
wants
the
and
idea
needs.
of the marriage.
Right. But in truth, he just wants to possess something. And in
Yeah.
possessing that, he can tell you, we need to play pickleball 17 hours a day.
Yeah.
And that's why he's been looking for a wife for decades, because
Since he was 18.
She said, decades.
he's trying to
Still
find.
looking.
Yeah, he hasn't been looking for a partnership marriage. He's been looking for
Exactly.
one to fill that
Exactly.
idea that he's already carved out on what they should look like and do.
Right.
It's really, really exhausting. And I want to talk about people who I thought I liked and now they're exhausting me. And we're going to end with them because they were boring and it should take us 3 minutes. And that's Cameron and Michelle. It's almost like they're like the villains to me a little bit. I don't think it's helpful or productive to be in spaces with people who judges how you choose to go about your marriage journey.
Yeah, I don't like that. My biggest issue with them is not even to do
Their
with their
relationship.
relationship. It's just how they speak to other people, how they speak on their relationship. In particular, Sean and Nikki. That thing that Michelle did really put a bad taste in my mouth.
With the romance.
That just put a bad taste.
What are your thoughts on Cameron and Michelle?
I think that they are, I agree. I think that there's a way to kind of be proud and secure in your relationship without having to kind of drag the others down.
Yeah.
And that's, so that's the part I kind of going back and forth. Like, is that kind of a producer encouraged thing? Like, because they will like going into scenes, like that could be a prompt. Like, let's hear what you think
Yeah.
about Sean and Nikki or
Absolutely.
whatever. But I don't know, because you still see it then in like a diary cam, or they're both like ready for the tea and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It does kind of go back to that, a little bit more of a competition. Like, there was never a point during Tom and I's journey that I can recall ever saying, like, I think we're in first place or whatever. And so that's not, maybe that, but even that could have been a question, like, where do you guys think you rank?
Yeah, where do you rank yourselves? Yeah.
Because that was the whole thing with the swaggle-meter thing for me, like the swaggle-meter. You know what I mean? But that could have been like
yes.
Could have been what place do you think you're in out of all the couples?
Yes.
So that answer to that. But I don't know. There has been some little like tidbits sprinkled across a lot of the episodes that kind of give that like first place mindset. And a lot of time, especially if that is for some reason what's fueling them, then that's where you see a crumble as soon as the cameras go off too. Because if that's what's kind of bringing it along, then when you're not competing against anyone and you've already won,
then what?
Yeah, exactly. And so we'll see. That's one side. On the other side, I also do like them, or I like that there's that is like doing well. And I guess coming to their fellow, like the boring normal couple, I'm like, I do get that, how someone has to do it. Someone has to be that woman.
I want you to be, I think there is enough chaos in marrying someone at first sight, right? And I think when speaking to like being boring, I find theirs to be intentional. We actually saw you and Tom going on a journey. Like I could see how I could physically see it, like you all getting closer to one another, listening more. You know what I mean? I could see you liking him more. Like we literally watched you fall in love with this man. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't, as much as I like them, I feel like what's lost is in their want to be number one, they're losing the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that everything is like, I think that it's important to have hard conversations. I feel like they have, but I think that they want to look a certain way so badly that they're skirting past things. You know what I mean? Like, he has a real mental health thing going on.
Yeah.
That it's like we haven't even unpacked that with other people. Like, oh yeah, some days I had bad days.
Something is
What that mean?
like just like you said, something is haunting him. Very similar to the same way that something is haunting Felipe, and the same way that something is haunting Mecca.
Yeah.
And I think because, like you said, Camille, you guys are so caught up in this era of competition and
He
losing.
wouldn't dare say it in front of everybody.
Oh, for sure. And
Yeah.
losing the fact that you're not here to compete with Sean and Nikki.
Right.
You're here to build your relationship. You're here to build Michelle and Cameron. And I do think that as much as I do like them as a couple, and I do appreciate their foundation feeling like it is maybe the strongest amongst their season, this part of them being so focused on the competition of it all has me worried about their longevity and how they can kind of fare leaving this process. Because once you're not competing with Sean and Nikki and Mecca and Belle Jolie, where does that leave you two?
Yeah, and how they'll navigate the long distance and all of that.
Right. Y'all got a lot.
Yeah, they got a lot to prepare for. One thing I will say about them is it does feel authentic. I really,
I
really
think so too.
actually like Cameron, and
Me too.
a lot. And there's something that I've been appreciating because it's crazy. Like, he has a similar message to Felipe and Mecca in terms of like the fear of the commitment part, but it just feels so much more authentic, and like he's speaking from these are just like genuine concerns of mine, not like, I don't know. It's so hard to put into words why it feels way different to me.
Joe and I, while we were watching it, were saying that because Joe made the point that Mecca and Cameron are going through the same thing. Because I'm like, Mecca is pissing me off, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, Mecca and Cameron are actually experiencing the same thing. It's just that Cameron is going about it differently. Like what he is, or his fears, and you know what I mean, what he thinks will be a problem for them in the future and things like that. The way he's saying it, but I was trying to tell Joe, it just feels different.
I think
I don't know what it is.
I think he's handling it better, right? Two people can have the same emotions and emote differently, right? My anger and your anger, we can both be the same level of anger, but I'm throwing something at the wall and you're not, right? So to me, you're handling it better. I think that Cameron is handling it better. I do think that it's something to pay attention to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just think it's definitely something to pay attention to, in the same way that I'm like looking at, even when they were doing In a Better Place with Mecca and Belle Jolie and Tori and Felipe, even when they were in a better place, it was always something to pay attention to, like something's happening here. You know what I mean? Even if it's on an individual standpoint, like to me, Cameron is bordering on like depression.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's something to pay attention to. You know what I mean? Separate and apart from like how he could be as a husband. Like he does things and says things and I notice things that make me go like, are you okay?
Yeah, no.
That's something that to tackle, you know?
Yeah, it was making me
like him.
mad for him. Yeah, I agree. And I think the difference with him is he's leaning into the discomfort. So he's saying these things. I have the fear of the commitment, things like that, but he's still leaning into it. And he's also realizing, he doesn't want to fumble the bag. Like, that's why I'm annoyed with Mecca and Felipe, because like, what the fuck else?
Yeah, right.
And so you're
That's
like,
because they bad bitches. I'm telling you, it's because they bad bitches. They out in the world and women make them feel like they're the prize. So now they're in relationship with women who are not centering them in that same kind of way and making them feel like something to be coveted in that way. And it's making them uncomfortable. I really genuinely believe that.
Yeah, they feel like they're the prize. And so I think that's makes me like Cameron so much more, is because you can see how two people can have the same fears, but one lean into it and be so appreciative of what he has. And the way he speaks about Michelle is like so heartwarming. Like, when he was tearing up, I was tearing up. I shit you not. Like when he was crying, no one said these things about me. I'm like, That is so I've never seen something more genuine on this show. And
Yes.
that's what I really like is everything that Cameron said. There is not one performative bone in his body. And I think that like that's been the beautiful thing to see is like he really is coming into this era of like I've never been with someone like her, so I don't want to fuck it up versus like the other two who are
Right.
Yeah.
fucking it
Actively fucking it
Which
up.
makes me kind of think your
up.
point about how sometimes it can be the questions could be set up a certain way, or the prompts at dinner can be set up a certain way, has me looking at his behavior at other dinners. And I don't feel like he even gives that much energy. And it may have been somebody telling them, you guys are the best couple. So like when you go in there, you kind of have to like steer the ship. You're the leaders. You know what I mean? You're doing great. Whatever the case. Because I don't feel like his interaction with other people has been from a place of like, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do this, you don't need to do this. Like to do that to me was so that left a bad taste in my mouth
Yeah, that was
because
nasty.
you are all on an experience and it's going to be
And nobody here is
close.
superior.
And y'all
Yeah.
don't have an answer, Sway.
Like no couple here is superior above another couple. Y'all are all in different places going through different things.
And never been married. Not only that, none of y'all have never been married. So y'all are actually going on an experience that none of you have ever experienced.
Right.
Yes.
Together, and to act like you're somehow ranking differently when we all started at the same place. It's so fascinating.
Yeah, I like to feel like that had a little bit of producer behind it. The one read I absolutely love is when he got on Felipe's ass though about like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
A lot of people need to hear that. A lot of guys, it's a lot of girls like that too, that like grass is greener mindset, or like what comes at what's the end goal? Like what are you really trying to achieve in life? Because like all this is fun and fine and dandy, but you're gonna hit that point where you like pass your prime and then you just people don't want you because you're the restaurant manager and because you're a good time. Like that's gonna disappear eventually. So I really like that, and I feel like a lot of people really need to hear that and be told
from men. And I think as a man from another man, it was important to hear as well.
Exactly. And so I think that's why I like Cameron so much. And I think that I think he is dealing with something, but I think from what I've seen, he has the right partner to kind of help with that. And I have seen a little discourse like, Michelle needs to run. That's not her cross to bear. And that's where it goes back to me that like, if you're gonna be married and be with someone, sometimes that is kind of your cross to bear, at least to help them through that and make them realize, because that's my last point about Cameron too, is I think just all of this is new to him and all of these are new feelings that he's never felt before. And even like him not really having been in a relationship before, I think just from the basketball world too, I actually could see how this man has been would have just been so ingrained in basketball. And as a coach, you working all day, you got practice till 7 p.m., 8 p.m. He's just going home and just being by himself and maybe being a little lonely. Like he's not out here dating around. I think he's just at that point, his sole focus has always been basketball. And now he's with that point, like I should actually pour into dating a little. I think he even said that in the first episode. And so I don't see him as the same kind of commitment phobe, like fuck boy as the other. Yeah, Felipe. Yeah, exactly.
And Camille, you know how everybody is, and now, especially the singles today, they're not putting up with nothing. So they're gonna tell you to run. You should leave. You know what I mean? Oh, you know what I mean? His right foot is a little bigger than his left foot. You got to get rid of him. They playing in your face, like
everybody playing in everybody's face.
We get it.
It's really sad, and I do want everybody to like find. I think it's okay to be connected, and I really want to drive that home. Like connection is okay. Wanting to be around your person is okay. Your person being a hobby for a certain period of time is okay. Sometimes when you're first starting out, your person is the hobby. That is what, you know what I mean? Like, and I think sometimes we are so used to not being liked or liking other people that it's so lost on us, Caitlin. I genuinely believe she is so used to not being liked. And in turn, she has not had to reciprocate the feeling that absence of a partner, even while saying that you're committed to someone, feels so normal.
Right.
And I want y'all to know it's okay to be liked and loved.
Right.
You are deserving of that. You know what I mean? And that's why I do enjoy watching Michelle and Cameron kind of like really go and see her family and have these real conversations about their what life and love could look like. It really is so important, and I think it's okay to be vulnerable. If I can give anybody anything, it's like it's okay to be vulnerable, and not in a place to weaponize it, Mecca,
Right.
but in a place where you genuinely want to connect. Like I'm
Yeah.
telling you this because I want to connect deeper. I want us to have these kind of things, these intangibles kind of connect.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what we're seeing in Cameron and Michelle. But I want you to go through your list of bullet points and tell us what we did not talk about that you like. Y'all didn't say this.
Going back to Adam, this is something like really funny and petty, but like how he was saying, does anything that I do give you the ick, as he's like chomping on that steak? And that was editing genius, first of all, because it was really funny.
It
But at
was.
one point, when they first started the conversation, he was talking and his teeth were red. And at first I was like, oh, does he have beets or something? And it showed that steak later. And I'm like, I know that wasn't blood in his teeth. Like, I swear, like,
Oh no.
second. And so that really grossed me out.
I'm
That was just-
alarmed. Also, Joe called that out while we were watching it. Like he was like, what is happening with this bone?
It was like
I was
really
like,
off-putting.
it was off-putting.
You know, I really don't want to give Courtney and Nick too much time, but one thing I did say or see again as I'm scrolling, and it's just all in my algorithm now, is you know, I can't help but wonder if I feel like Courtney always made it so apparent that she was not feeling Nick, or like picking on him. The stuff she was doing that was kind of nice, like she went out of her way to say she doesn't want to do it, she's just doing it because of him. And
Right.
I can't help but feel like as soon as she decided she didn't like him, she wanted the world, she went out of her way to let the world know she doesn't like him because
Yeah.
of like, whatever is to come afterwards. And I just wanted to make like a PSA that Married at First Sight is not the place to come if you want to be like Instagram famous, because at the end of the day, what people want to see is people that work out. You know, like
Yeah.
no coming
Yep.
on here to be it's just not the show. Like Love
It's
Island.
not Love Island. Yep.
Yeah. Like this is not the blow up show. And I just feel like I've been seeing a lot of stuff on social media, and it's like, you know, kind of poking fun at stuff.
Yeah,
And
because she has a series too on her page. Like, who the F did I marry? Hers is Who the F Did I Marry? And I'm like,
What?
this is it was weird. And she was the first person I saw on social media, actually. And I was just like,
yeah,
girl.
her and Nick both have been on there so much, and it's almost kind of poking fun of the show and stuff. Like, if I was shown like that on TV, and you can't even say it's an edit, like if that's what I was looking at, I would just take a second to like reflect.
Yes.
And instead of
Yes.
leaning into that, I'm just bold and, you know, all of this. And it just circles back. What made me remember this is when you were saying at the end of just not even knowing what it's like to be with someone who actually likes you. I feel like she made it painfully obvious that she doesn't know how to exist in peace. Like the area of peace, to where, you know, I don't like silence. You got to talk. Just picking everything apart. Those things, like the anxiety. She was giving me anxiety. Like low key, that's
she was a ball of anxiety. She was a ball of anxiety.
He was making me anxious and like didn't miss a beat with talking and just was so all over the place that she's just someone else that has so much to unpack we don't even understand. And so it's not giving that he recognizes that.
She still is and will always be the problem. I really, really, it's so unfortunate because there was so much about Nick. I feel like we could have gotten to. We actually know nothing about Nick. Outside of him being on other people's shows, and we found out that he lived in Austin on Reddit. You know what I mean? Like nobody. That's not something we know nothing about him, and that's upsetting to me.
Oh, the only other thing I was thinking when you were talking about it is, did Sean come out on purpose on camera with that robe wide open? And I don't think he did. And I'm only going to say that, especially if they were like drinking wine or whatever, say they were a little lit. There is that you're almost always aware, like you remember that there's cameras in there, but you get so used to it. I think that was genuinely a moment of like, I feel like Tom and I had some random moments where it's like, oh shit, forgot it's cameras or whatever. And luckily, like that footage that seemed genuine to me. And he just yeah, he was feeling himself and just, came
Let
out to
me
get a
tell you,
He said it was genuine.
I believe that this man was on cloud 9 and 10 and 11 and
yeah.
12. And I also, it's funny because we was in the car the other day, and I also said to Zar, I believe that at some point they kind of just forget the cameras are there, just for moments. Like I just feel like you can, because especially if you're getting to week, what is this, episode 13 we're going into? So
Mhm.
I don't know how many weeks they've been filming at this point. At some point you kind of sink into a rhythm, and you have moments, especially in anger and euphoria, where you're just not even thinking about the cameras. And I
Mhm.
think he's been waiting across a certain threshold with his woman, and he did it, and he obviously was very ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
So I believed it. He sold me on it.
Having gone through this process, what do you think is the best change that they've made in this new iteration of Married at First Sight?
I just really love holding people's feet to the fire, but in a way that is constructive and productive. I think
Mhm.
the experts do a great job. Like, they're good for TV, but it's not giving just a TV show. Like they really are rapid firing these questions off. That's not giving producer led to me. I feel like it's really
Mm,
people unpack some things, and I do like that. I think that
Mhm.
creates an environment where people can actually take something from this.
Mhm.
It gives that they are helping people work towards their marriage versus, on some of the earlier seasons, I think some people's feedback was, they're going to just say whatever it is to now you're married, you just got to do it kind of thing.
right, right.
Then what is that? Why are you saying that? Or,
Yeah.
what are you afraid of? Or, it's more critical thinking. And so I think I really like that. It'd be hard to be on that. I feel
Yes.
like be part of that, just, so I don't want to be too critical on them because it would be tough to literally figure out some of these triggers and traumas you have for everyone to see.
Mhm. In
Like
real
And in real
time.
time.
Yeah.
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 real time. But I love that part of it. I like the editing. The group dinners I am very torn on because I don't think it's helpful at all, but it makes for really
It
good
is
TV.
also delicious.
Yeah. I
Girl,
know.
I think the same thing. I don't love what it's weird because if I was in the process, I wouldn't love what they're doing. Watching it from the outside, I'm like, oh, this is so juicy. But it's like,
Yes.
I want them to thrive and I don't want them
Right.
to take it too seriously. And I also want everybody to remember, consider the source. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's so
Yes.
important. I think when they're having group therapy, like that to me is more constructive
Mhm.
that I think the
Way more.
group therapy is for them, the dinner is for us.
Yeah,
Right.
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Exactly. And I
Even
think
though
it's
I'm watching group therapy and loving it though.
Yeah, me too. And I think the most recent dinner was the only one that I kind of felt like, okay, y'all are putting a little too much on trying to point out people's like flaws and things.
Yeah.
That felt most produced. I agree.
It felt like
Yeah,
a battle royale.
exactly, exactly. So I
It's too
I
much.
like the previous ones. I feel like this one felt a little like, okay, I'm literally just fuck what everyone's talking about. I'm gonna tell you about your relationship, like you said, like
Yeah. Right. Right.
like everyone is telling each other how their relationships are actually going. So that was the only thing I was like, "Okay." But I like the new format, and I like the speed they're going to. But it did make me realize that we haven't seen many family scenes and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
I do miss a little
Right.
bit of that.
They mentioned the retreat, and I'm like, damn, I didn't realize we hadn't even gone to the retreat yet.
We didn't even celebrate 1 month, but they're also like not doing these like markers. It's certain things that I really do love. I love that they're getting the cancer out of the group because I think that that will sow further dissension. You had to get
Yeah.
Courtney out because I think that she also has a way of I think that Caitlyn is a bit what's the word I want to use? Influenced
Yeah.
Yeah.
by Courtney and her behavior because I felt
Mhm.
like even at the dinner her energy took a
It
shift
did.
with like it was almost felt like she had to fill Courtney's bad energy
Right.
spot
Right.
and that was very
Mhm. Mhm.
odd. You know what I mean? But I'm glad from a production and a professional perspective, they just rooted them out
Right.
because that could damage the whole tree of married this season of Married at First Sight. And we don't want to do that. We want everybody to be fruitful and we want them to prosper. And I think that, you know, getting them out was so mammy important, and also it was my favorite.
Yeah.
That and Sean, girl, good night.
I
Y'all did
agree.
what y'all needed to do for me.
And when they did too, because it's already the social media stuff is already becoming kind of strange because it's like y'all didn't do
Strange.
well on the show. So like to
Right.
be the hottest ones on social media is very interesting because like save that for people who was doing all right. There was a
Right.
crash from the get-go. I really do not remember any good scenes in that like
Right.
didn't somehow get taken back to like rude and just weird behavior. So I'm like, again, y'all just might want to stay a little quiet
Be
because
quiet.
Right. Right.
So now that you're going into 3 years of marriage, okay, having gotten matched on Married at First Sight, what now is your advice for someone embarking on this journey? We're going into Charlotte. What would you tell them?
Married at First Sight, my main thing would be especially seeing how they about to call people to the carpet now. Don't come on the show for trying to benefit yourself somehow, whether it be social media, whether it be business, whatever. Please don't do that to yourself because it will get exposed and it's not gonna end up well for you, I feel like. So that's my biggest thing. And again, maybe it's just me trying to hold on, protect that integrity of the show a little bit. I still want there to be a little bit of that authenticity. Like I don't want to see any more Nicks. I don't want to see anyone else who's been on a TV show. Like I want it to stay a little authentic. So I would say it's not worth it if you're trying to come on for clout because now we can see you might get embarrassed.
Yes.
Um,
Shame.
and yeah, shame.
Yes, exactly.
And so, but for the people who do come on, really wanting like the partnership and marriage, a committed relationship, I would say just lean into that discomfort. That's the best thing I can say because it's apparent the people who do, who don't. Again, Cameron leaning into that discomfort. It's still there. It's okay for it to be there, but pushing through that and pushing through the dating mindset that everyone it's has just taken on because it's everywhere. So that would be my biggest thing, just coming on with the right intentions and really embracing it and leaning into it. And then marriage in general, I would say we're getting a lot of nuggets from this show in terms of how you have to show up if you want a partnership and if you want it to work long term and what it looks like to let go of everything. That's something I had to check myself on. And, I've done a lot of therapy too on like, what is a marriage supposed to be like? Because I've never been married before. Like people who have never been married before, you don't know. And so there is no right way to do it. There is no how it's supposed to be. You truly do just have to buy in. And that, it sounds cliche, like choosing each other every day, but that is what you have to do.
It's
And
facts.
yeah, so that's really my piece is just lean into what your relationship is. Be open, transparent. Everyone's going to come with their own shit that you got to work
Yes.
through. And I love you guys. That would be my final piece. I love you guys' take on the whole like the simp and the pick me narrative. I saw something on Threads that was like pick me and simp. Was it you guys that posted it or reposted it? It was like that is the language of the miserable. Like those
Oh
words.
yes, that was us.
Yes, I think I saw
It
that on
just is. It
yeah,
just
and
is.
so
And I'm a
that's
pick me.
yeah,
Pick me. I
same,
do want them to pick me.
same. And so, if you go by other people's standards, I wouldn't be married today. Y'all probably wouldn't be married
Right,
today.
right,
You know,
right,
so
Do you know
I
how
just
often I
right.
say that? If I
We say
when
that
I'm
a
talking
lot.
to the women in my life who are like looking for, we trying to get them dating and doing things, I literally sit with them and say, by your standards, I wouldn't be married.
Yeah,
You know what I
mhm,
mean? And that's not saying don't have standards. It's saying we
mhm,
got to figure out what's actually important.
right. To
You know what I mean?
you.
To you. And what's important to me may not be the same, but what you're saying is like so Michelle Obama said it best. Who told y'all supposed to have all this? Who said that?
Yeah,
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. And that's at the end of the day that everything's off the table. Like you can't all pride has to be gone. Like you really have to, strip yourself down to your most vulnerable and, see that it goes back to that giving your partner grace and thinking, you know, taking yourself out of it and just really learning. That was one thing with Married at First Sight. You know, neither of us knew each other and like what we've been through and, you know, why we
Yeah.
show relationships the way we do. And so just coming in with that open mindset and being willing to work through your own stuff and your other person's stuff to,
Yeah.
you know, grow in a marriage. The ones that last 40, 50 years were not based off vibes. They were not based
At all.
because they wanted to do what their partner wanted to do. It, you know, it was so much more goes into it. So I just really would love to see people in a dating world like bring that back around where you just
Yes.
are tolerance for,
Yeah.
you know, the real
And
stuff.
stop listening to these people. Stop. They're
Right.
not telling you. They don't want you to win.
Yeah.
Some people
so
like I'm critical because I want you to win.
Yeah.
Like I
Yes.
want it to be what you want it to be.
And
If
that's
you
why
don't
we
want that
watch
from
these
it, I don't want
shows.
that
That's
from
why
it.
we watch these shows. Like Camille said earlier on, like especially I find more so with the Married at First Sight audience, we're watching to see couples win. We watching for the success stories like Camille and Thomas.
Yes.
Camille, thank you so much.
We
again.
don't have to waste it all your time today.
We can talk to you for another
I
6
know. We
hours.
have to let you go. We
We
have
can
to
talk
let
to
you
you for
go. Tom
another
probably like, shut up.
no, it was so funny. He was getting his hair cut. He was go shopping, so he's
Well,
fine.
tell them we said
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy motherfucking anniversary.
Yes.
3 years is not nothing. That is a very big deal.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so we are proud of you, and it's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful to watch y'all flourish
Yes.
together, have fun together. Every time I see y'all on my timeline, y'all are smiling. It's my favorite thing.
I
It's
love
my
it.
favorite thing.
I love it.
We have a good
So
time together.
thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
My goodness, if you have been hanging out with us all this time, thank y'all so much for hanging with us. Thank you to Camille. Everybody say happy anniversary in the meantime comments. I don't want y'all to feel like when we're having these conversations, if you're not married or in a long-term relationship, you should feel left out. That's not what these conversations are for. It's really just a deeper dive into us feeling okay with being in a relationship with one another, putting our egos aside and wanting more from this life. You know what I mean? And wanting more could be wanting companionship. And that's okay. Okay. So I thank you so much for joining us. Make sure y'all buy us a coffee. I need one right. Meanie tap now. Thank y'all for the people who sponsored this episode. Thank y'all for coming through and always showing us love. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, hype this Mimi Tap video up. Last week I saw how much I hyped the video up.
You
I
gotta
just
keep
have to-
doing it. It really
It
matters.
was such
If
a
you
big
don't- If
deal.
you don't understand what it is yet, right as soon as you open the video, go to the comment section. You comment. If you
Comment.
don't, go to the
Say
comment
anything.
section, and if you don't see it, you just swipe. You swipe the comment section, and you'll see the thing that'll say hype. Hype it. Do it. It matters.
It
Don't make-
matters.
It matters.
Everything y'all do matters. So
Yeah.
thank y'all so much for always watching. Y'all be watching all the way through because I watch time. Everything like that. Y'all are great. This was a long one, but it was a good one. So thank y'all so much for joining us. I'm your girl.
We will be away for a bit. We'll be alive. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing happening. Zar got a birthday coming up. We got a little birthday trip coming up for her. I'm gonna be working on the road the next couple of weeks. We ain't going nowhere. There's nothing wrong with us. Check our socials and all that. We will try to keep y'all updated. We'll be back at some point. Hopefully before the finale / reunion of Married at First Sight. It's just really just going to depend on how crazy the schedule get. But we give y'all an extra bonus episode.
How about that?
This run. But stay tuned to socials so you'll know what's going on, because maybe we jump in while in the next couple of weeks and do a live or something like that. You know what I mean? But we will be sparse, so don't be alarmed.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank y'all so much for joining us again. I'm your girl, Intisar Eleanor. I'm joined always by my beautiful adventures of Connor. And you were on the comments, guys.